It's time for high school football, presented by TISD and Cox Communications of Tyler. Brought to you by Dairy Queen and Supercuts. Also brought to you by these sponsors. Get ready, high school football is just ahead.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're gonna go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
And I'm out of here.
Fellas,
You're out of your mind. That's not
where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
Officials for tonight's game from the Texas Association of Sports Officials, Lone Star Chapter. Officials tonight, referee Doyle Pogue, umpire Brandon Kurtz, line judge Russell Bishop, linesman Chuck McElroy, and back judge Dan Metcalf. As these officials go to the center of the field, they will be joined by captains for North Mesquite, Robert E. Lee, as we have the symbolic coin toss. Representing North Mesquite, number 11, Ryan Witherspoon, number 44, Tim Sharp, number 37, Lucas Cullen, and number 55, James Foster. Representatives for Robert E. Lee, number 4, Tyrone Ross, number 5, Lance Heath, number 82, James Wilson, number 24, Micah Johnson, and number 72, Brian Culp.
All right, Coach, capture your team now. Somebody else needs something to go out here. Step in there and help like, hey, we're playing football. Hey, back to receiver. Cross the ball away.
Here's the coin flip down at midfield with the referee Doyle Pogue.
Let's go over that again. All right, we had the toss before the game. We're going to do a mock toss. Still didn't work, did it? Tyrone, you won the toss, and you went to football, and you're going to kick facing the score.
All right, so North Mesquite again called a heads. It was tails. Lee wins the toss, and they will receive from the east side of the end zone. North Mesquite will be kicking off from the west side, the fieldhouse side of Rose Stadium in time. When we come back, the kickoff between Robert E. Lee and North Mesquite from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in time.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Morning.
What's up, bro?
Welcome to the party. It's the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. Get access to more than 150 extra college football games this season.
Prepare to party. Call 1-888-SPORTS-IN and order ESPN Game Plan. Available with Cox Digital Cable.
Black, 6'5", 321 senior. Matt Holland, the 6'1", 271 senior guard. There's Sam Banks, 5'9", 235 senior. And Brian Cole, 6'1", 273 senior, the center. They rotate quite a bit with Blake Larman, the 230 senior, and Andrew Bailey, who is the junior. Josh Hill, the quarterback, who's thrown for 820 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 47 of 79 so far this year. And guess what? We talk about T.Y. Josh Hill is 1 yard passing away from 2,000 in his career. He's at 1999. He's also rushed for 3 touchdowns this year. Walter Simpson, senior receiver with incredible hands, 242 yards pass receiving, 2 touchdowns, 55-yarder against Waco High. Caught one against Longview last week. Tony Bush, 205. He averages 20.5 yards per catch, 2 touchdowns, including a 97-yard kickoff return against Trinity. Also, we'll see John Williams quite a bit. Tight end is John Giles, the junior. They need to get him more involved in the offense. He had a chance to catch the touchdown against Longview, went through his hands, and he told my daughter, Jennifer, that he goes, I got to get that one back. Peyton Price, the fullback, 362 yards on just 35 carries, 3 touchdowns. And Tyrone Ross, you've heard all about him. Jason Williams, who's back deep with Bush to receive the kickoff. Also averaging nearly 7.9 yards per carry. High kickoff. And it's Jason Williams from the 10, straight run 20. 25 seam, 30-yard line is where Lee will start at the 30-yard line. Vincent Butler, who's one of the cornerbacks on the stop for North Mesquite, at the 30. Up front, 5'2", a 50 defense for the Stallions. And head coach Steve Bragg. Dan St. Leger is the defensive coordinator. Egbo, Richardson, Riley, Thomas, and Cullen up front. Very active front 7. It is LaRon Elmer and Tim Sharp, the linebackers. Butler and Rob Patterson, the corners, and Larry Rosebud and Trevon Wilson, the safeties. They have 6 interceptions between the 2 of them. T.Y., a quick little handoff up the gut, just off left tackle behind Saran, not much there. Tim Sharp, the junior, on the stop, and T.Y. gets a couple of yards.
Goes to the left side and has a slight opening, but it closes up very quickly. Also credit the other safety, Trevon Wilson, who had a big interception last week to turn the tide against Horn for North Mesquite on the
Jonathan Williams in the game for Lee in the slot with Simpson split near side. Tight end is Giles, left hash mark, 2nd and 8 for Robert E. Lee. And the offset eye. Tyrone tries to bounce it outside, now cuts it inside and does get outside, and he's off to the races. 50, 40, down the sidelines, a big chunk, about 105 he needs to break Derek's record, down to the North Mesquite 23-yard line. And he did a great job in the stiff arm to bounce it outside. And T.Y. about halfway there now to Derek's record, a gain of 45 yards.
Well, he was very patient, David. He looks to the right side, and he goes back inside, cuts back, and just turns on the jets. He outraces several North Mesquite defenders down the far sideline before he's tossed out of bounds.
35 yards officially on the carry. 35 yards for T.Y. And it's 1st and 10 Lee at the 33-yard line of the Stallions. Right hash mark, little counter to Jason Williams. He bounces outside, 30, blocked downfield, 20, 15, 10, he will score! Touchdown, Robert E. Lee, and what a great block downfield from Walter Simpson, who did everything he could to not clip the defender, and he did a great job because Jason Williams scores from 33 yards out, and this Red Raiders team needed something to happen in a hurry, and they got it in a hurry. 3 plays, touchdown.
And it happens very quickly. Jason Williams just shows his great athletic ability, cuts back to the far side of the field, and just races and tight ropes right down the near sideline for 6.
So T.Y. for 2, T.Y. for 33, and here comes Williams for 33 more. Cole Skates, the senior, on for the extra point, and it's good. Our score, 58 seconds into this game. Robert Ely 7, North Mesquite nothing, back in 60 seconds.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine in Tyler.
Education is a priority in Tyler. With new growth and increasing student enrollment, the Tyler Independent School District studied the condition of its facilities. Focusing on the most critical needs first, the district's Board of Trustees voted unanimously to call for a bond election for a portion of these needs. The election affecting the children of Tyler is November 2nd. Visit www.tylerisd.org and click on Bond 2004 or call 903-262-1064.
Don't forget tonight, 10:30, the East Texas High School Scoreboard Show. We're here live from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium with scores and coaches interviews.
Robert E. Lee, David, 3 plays, 70 yards in 56 seconds. That's all it took. They scored quickly. Now be on defense.
Brandon Jackson, the great receiver, one of the deep men. But this is Thompson at about the 18, at the 25, and gets loose out to the 35, missed tackle 40. And we mentioned the missed tackles because Lee has struggled quite a bit, especially last week against Longview. And Aldarius Thompson, who's the starting tailback, the junior, with a great return out to their 40-yard line. And Lee defensively up front, Sherfield, McKenzie, and Mumphrey, the tackles and defensive ends, Jason Stripling and Nick Mitchell, rovers and safeties, along with Eric Ajiki, linebackers Cole Skates, DeHaven, and Dominique Van Zandt. The corners are Quet Nicholson and Micah Johnson, and they will be tested severely by quarterback Ryan Witherspoon tonight. Shotgun, 4 receivers set. Witherspoon runs the option far side, and he loses a couple of yards. And let's get jacked up on defense tonight. The emotion of this team, they played so hard last week, but not enough guys getting up and dancing around. And Jacoby McKenzie makes the first stop, a loss of 2.
Well, Lee's very athletic, as we all know, watching him play. It's a matter of wrapping up and playing with a little bit more intensity and a lot more passion.
Up front for North Mesquite, Garner, Pacina, Foster, Adams, and Webb is 6'7", 250. He's a good one. I watched him against JT earlier this year. Jackson goes in motion now, and they think that play to him, and Witherspoon runs the option, runs right into the linebacker. Van Zandt also was there, was Ricky Sherfield, and so was Jacoby McKenzie. Gain of about 6 out to the 44-yard line. Receivers are Jermaine Nevels and Josh Miller. Miller's got 2 touchdowns, including a 66-yarder. Brandon Jackson, though, 25 catches, 566 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He also has 2 rushing touchdowns and a kick return touchdown. 3rd and 5. Shotgun. North Mesquite at their 45-yard line. Witherspoon looks for a receiver, throws under pressure, caught it, first down, Miller. He thread the needle. He got ripped right after the toss. Quet Nicholson there, and that was a great throw by Witherspoon under pressure. Gain of 9, first down, Stallions.
Yes, sir. He had Dominique Van Zandt sitting in his lap, and he threw it just when he needed to, and Miller makes a nice falling back catch for the first down.
That's a great throw by Witherspoon. I saw them against JT in the opening game of the district when Lee had the bye week, and he's also a tough kid. He'll take it and run with it. We've already seen that as well. Stallions at the Lee 47, first down, 7-0. Lee scored on their 3rd play from scrimmage. Shotgun Witherspoon, trip set near side, run the draw. Thompson, nowhere to go. Knocked down near the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard or 2. Great job by 66 that time, Bobby Osborne, and Lance Heap came up to make the stop as well, as Aldarius Thompson, who has rushed for 289 yards, makes the stop. Nick Mitchell also involved. No, Mitchell out and Lance Heap in the game at the safety spot early.
And Lee almost got him behind the line of scrimmage. He had enough juke in him to kind of cut back inside and make a nice move to pick up the 1-2 yards that he did.
Drew Williams now in the game at the tailback spot, or the lone setback as the bodyguard for Witherspoon. 2nd down and 8. Williams, they pitch it back to Witherspoon. He has no time to throw it. Hit as he does, incomplete. And that was almost picked off by Jason Stripling. Ricky Sherfield, as they ran the flea flickers, he threw it back to Witherspoon. Great coverage as well. Everybody was there, Mumphrey and Sherfield. Let's talk about Jason Stripling. He is playing with basically a girdle or some sort of he can't raise his left hand very much, playing with tremendous pain, rotator cuff injury, and he had a big game against Longview, and he is really, truly the unquestioned leader at times on this defense.
Well, if he was dropped back another yard or two, he probably would have made the pick, but nice push up front from the lead defensive front.
3rd and 8 now. They have 1 3rd-down conversion already. Witherspoon, Lee brings the blitz, but Cole skates. Wide receiver slip screen, close to a 1st down, but shy by a couple of yards. That was very well developed. And Witherspoon getting hit on every play, and this brings up an interesting play. Warren DeHaven and Eric Ajiki were there on a gain of about 6 yards. Give him 7. Not maybe 6 yards. 4th down and 2 for North Mesquite at the Lee 39-yard line. On the catch that time was General Lafitte. So a 6-yard pickup, and here comes 4th and 2. Witherspoon, Lafitte in motion. They run it outside to him. Does he get outside? No, he does not. Great job by Skates initially, and Lance Heap makes another play. And North Mesquite turns it over on downs after a loss of 3 yards in the play, and Lee gets it at their 42.
Just when they were showing a little bit of pretty decent execution, North Mesquite, they tried that wing-back reverse back to the far side of the field, and just a great stop for Lee. They had him contained anyway, and he slipped and fell, and Lee makes a stop.
Here comes the Lee offense. It took them 3 plays the last time they had it. 7-0. Robert E. Lee with 8:02 to go first quarter. And Tony Bush goes far side. Simpson to the near side. Split backs. Price and T.Y. behind Josh Hill. This is a play action. Josh throws it back the other way. Giles caught it midfield, and it's nice to see him get involved in the passing attack early, and a gain of 9 yards, and that's a very tough throw by Josh, who took a beating last week at a gain of 9, 2nd down and 1.
They run it to the far side of the field. A great connection as Giles runs an out pattern about 9 yards out and makes the catch. Nice pass up high.
North Mesquite having to worry about T.Y. or Jason Williams, the misdirection, Peyton Price, and now they got to worry about the passing game as well. Simpson and Bush, 2 receivers, split side. Either way, this is T.Y. on the stretch. Got about 5, 7, 8 yards inside the North Mesquite 45 to the 42. And a pickup of 8 yards in the play as he closes in on Derek's record.
Takes it off the right side, gets a nice block up front from his line. Nice push so far. Lee is showing a little bit of dominance thus far early in the game. Matt Holland with a good pushback block, and he just finds a little seam and squirms right through it.
Tyler Fleet, we'll see a lot of him, the sophomore. Remember, caught a 24-yard pass against Rockwall. He's one of the tight ends as they go double tight set a lot more. Giles, the H-back here. Simpson far side, split backs Josh. Straight drop. Man open, Fleet. 40, can't get away, but a nice little 2-yard gain to the sophomore tight end. And that time there were 2 receivers in the same place. Fleet and Peyton Price was there. Wonder about that 2nd down and 8. There's a flag down? No. There's a player who maybe he's okay now. 2nd down and 8 for Lee at the 40-yard line, gain of 2.
What you like about Lee there, David, is they're trying to stretch the field, go way outside like they've run outside early in their first possession. This time they're throwing it outside. Maybe we can see a little quick blast play from the fullback.
John Williams flanked far side, offset eye at the 40. Counter trade Tyrone into the secondary, down to the 30, inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line, and a gain of 13 more. He is 48 yards away from tying Derek Farmer's all-time rushing record.
Once again, very, very patient. Tyrone Ross just falls in behind his blocker and just finds a seam once again and squirts right through. I'll tell you what, North Mesquite's going to have a lot of problems containing him, David.
First down lead at the 27 of North Mesquite. In the slot is Tony Bush. Play action bootleg. Josh will keep it. Gets a block. There's a flag. It's coming back. Either Giles or the center, Blake Larman, that time, double teamed what looked like was Lucas Cullen, and that thing came from the side judge. Actually, that's the linesman, and that will probably cost Lee at least 10 yards. And they got hurt by some penalties late in the game against Longview when they were driving. And I think one of the things I talked about with Mike, Gary Fleet as a part of the running game, of course, the offensive line coach in Downwind, is they have so many plays that are so complicated, and a lot of times they need long-term blocks because they run a lot of misdirection, a lot of stretch plays. That right there, the stretch, and a lot of times you see guys holding on to very good blocks, and at times people just look at it, someone's got to be holding. It's now first down and 20.
Well, at least diversity in what they do and how they try to out-scheme every opponent really adds and makes their athletes look better too, in my opinion.
So now Lee, after a nice drive down inside the 25 or 30 with a first and 20 at the North Mesquite 37-yard line. Josh straight drop, wants to set up the screen, and Price is there. 40, 35, runs over a linebacker. It's a great hit by number 4, LaRon Elmer, who came over and saved a bigger play. By the way, LaRon Elmer, his mother was at all the games watching her son. He was brought up, and she kept saying, will you all please, my son's played a few weeks, can you finally get his name right? On the roster, Rashard March's name was always called, and so finally they gave us LaRon Elmer's name. Good tackle from him. Gain of 5. It's now second down and 15.
He's a pretty heady player being a sophomore. He has great speed and pursuit to the football, as we saw just then.
So Josh now with a nice little start, 3 for 3, but needs a big play here. T.Y. the lone setback from the 33. Josh straight drop. Has time. Simpson post, caught it. It doesn't get any prettier than that. First of all, Black, Banks, Larman, Colt, Holland, great time, great post pattern, and Vincent Butler got burned. 33-yard touchdown, Robert E. Lee.
The best passer, one of the best passers around, Josh Hill, just finds his receiver. He leads him perfectly right to the football as Simpson snatches it at about the 4 and dances right in on 33 yards.
Walter Simpson now scored last week against Longview. That was as pretty a post pattern as you can run. He runs patterns as well as any high school receiver, including those kids from South Lake Carroll. Here comes the extra point attempt. Cole skates. Kick is up. It is 14-0 lead. 6:25 to go. First quarter. Get up and make some noise. The defense is about to hit the field back in 1 minute.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Hi, I'm Angie Billings. I have taught at Lee for 11 years. I teach English, and you're watching TISD football on Cox.
Back at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium, Micah Johnson with a very deep kick that sends the ball through the back of the end zone, and North Mesquite down 14-0 will take over at their 20-yard line.
Smokey, 7 plays, 58 yards, and 137 for Robert E. Lee on that drive, and they threw the ball 4 times and ran it the other 3, and are making it look pretty easy right now with their great execution.
Well, they really need a great start because they had, they're a little feeling sorry for themselves after such a great game last week, and they've gotten the start that Mike Owen said they desperately needed. And, I think the coaching staff has to feel pretty good as well about where they are early on in this game. First and 10, Stallions with Witherspoon, who's the senior quarterback. Draw play, Thompson, nothing there. Cole skates, DeHaven at the bottom of that pile. And Warren again, for those of you who may not know, playing with a torn meniscus in the knee, a severely sprained left ankle, has 31 tackles, 13 last week in his first start back in 3 weeks, 13 tackles against the Lobos last week.
He does a phenomenal job, and Lee just really pursues the ball very well defensively, and they're tough to run against inside as well.
So now it's second down and a long 8, 4 receiver set. Here's a play on the wide receiver stretch play that Oklahoma made so famous back a few years ago, and Jason Stripley knocks the running back or wide receiver who was trying to be a running back, Aldarius Thompson, and he didn't get anything. It's 3rd down and 8.
Well, they run the spread offense, as we've mentioned. What they try to do, and what they're trying to do, is just stretch the field too, spreading it out, probably to try to find a seam down the middle of the field on an upcoming passing play.
So now here comes 3rd and 8. They've converted on 1 3rd down on their last drive. 4 receivers set, they're all over the place like fire ants. Here comes Lee on the blitz from Cole Skate. They pick it up, want to go deep. He's got a man over Heap, caught it first down at the 45. What a great throw. And they got a man-to-man on the safety, Lance Heap. Jermaine Nevels with a huge play down to the Lee 45-yard line, 33 yards. And the one thing about the Lee defense that we've noticed this year, when they've had a chance to step on a team, they've given up the big play.
Well, he just really bit back in towards the inside and then was unable to catch up with the receiver as he was a yard or 2 behind him, and a nice pass and catch from Witherspoon as well.
81 makes the catch, Nevels, and it was a pretty throw, 33 yards. Witherspoon back to throw. Looks over his defense, pass undershoots his intended receiver that time, number 17, Colton Morris, the senior, or the sophomore, with Dominique Van Zandt right there, and he's having way too much time to throw the football.
Well, the last 2 pass plays really bear that out. David Lee didn't get quite the push as they had on their last drive where they made the 4th-down stop.
2nd down and 10, North Mesquite, and this kid can throw it. 103 of 199, just over 50%. 9 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions, and almost 1,400 yards through the air this season. 2nd down, 10 at the Lee 45-yard line. Here comes Lee on the blitz. He has time, throws it over the middle, incomplete, and that's great job of pressure. First of all, Cordero Mumphrey, Eric Ajiki was there on the coverage that time as he tried to throw it where nobody but the receiver could catch it. Too low, the pressure caused that 3rd and 10.
And just a great bit of coverage too downfield for Lee as the quarterback had to unravel it early because of the pressure, and Lee's doing a good job. And that's how you stymie this kind of passing attack, put a lot of pressure on the QB.
Craig Smoke will be coming down to you in a moment to carry in Cuba now, and it's safety. Witherspoon shotgun. Steps up in the pocket, pass caught and knocked away on a great play by Eric Ajiki, the safety, intended for Morris. It was a great throw, my friends, by Witherspoon, but Eric Ajiki blows him up. And it's now 4th down, Stallions at the 45 of Lee.
Hard hit it was. The ball hits the receiver's hands, and Ajiki just dislodges it immediately, timing it perfectly, and Lee has a nice 3 and out.
I wonder if Witherspoon's a pitcher of the baseball team. Most likely he is. 4:44 to go, first quarter. 14-0. Robert E. Lee forces North Mesquite to punt here, or at least an attempt to punt. Here comes the pressure. Nice, high, lazy punt. Will White, Tony Bush, fair catch at the 10. And Lee will take it over at their 10-yard line. Craig Smoke, you've seen a few of these games over the years, and your just early impressions of this 14-0 Robert E. Lee lead.
Well, the early impressions would be it is very impressive. I mean, Lee's coming out, Ajiki playing great on defense with the rest of the guys, and against the offense like North Mesquite, your defense is going to get tested a lot on the receiving side, and so they've done a great job so far shutting down a very potent offense.
Robert E. Lee offensively at the 10, leading by 14, offset eye with Peyton Price, the up back. T.Y. the deep back. It's Peyton up the middle, breaks a tackle, breaks another. First down outside the 20. Tough run from the senior fullback who wants to go to medical school. Gain of 12, 2nd down. Lucas Cullen makes the stop for North Mesquite.
Nice block up front from Blake Lorman as he gets a push on the linebacker. Actually, the nose guard, Riley, in front of him, turns him back to the inside towards us, and just running right through it quickly and breaking a tackle or 2 is Peyton Price.
4:26 to go, opening quarter. Tyrone Ross takes the seat here. Jason Williams, no, Tyrone split far side on the flanker spot, and they run him in reverse, and he gets the handoff. Tries to bounce it outside, gets the corner, 25, 27-yard line. He put his head down. Nice job by Rob Patterson, the corner, to make the stop after a gain of about 4 out to the 27-yard line.
And Tyrone at times, David, he looks like he's just barely moving, but then he turns on the jets and turned the corner there and saw a defender in his way, and he just throws down the shoulder.
Tyrone, 5 carries, 62 yards. He is 42 yards away from tying his good buddy Derek Farmer's all-time rushing record, 43 away from breaking it. 2nd down and 6. Play action pass. Hill Now in trouble, goes down at the 20. Boy, he probably waited just as long as he could and then tried to step up, and the pressure got to him that time. And that time it was Patrick Egbo, the defensive end, and Taylor Richardson, and they only had 2 receivers in the pattern with Giles and Walter Simpson. Big sack for North Mesquite.
Well, they also had Tyrone Ross going out of the backfield to the right flat, David, and at first he was uncovered, and Hill was looking downfield at that moment, that split second, did not see his tailback to the right-hand side.
Loss of 7 back to the 20-yard line. Lee with 3rd and 12. Triple set receivers, 2 far side. Josh steps back, sideline pass. Simpson at the 35 has a first down. That is, again, a tremendous pattern as he got the cornerback Patterson off of him and rifles a pass. Gain of 15 yards to keep the drive alive, first down.
He's such a great route runner, David, that he just juked the cornerback right out to his far side, Patterson, and he took him back inside, and there was the pass, pinpoint accuracy from Josh Hill.
2:54 to go opening quarter. Robert E. Lee with a first down at the 35-yard line. 14-0 Red Raiders. Split backs behind. There's a movement on the right-hand side, and that's 64 Holland and Brian Culp. And you can see what that was going to be. That was going to the right-hand side. And again, pre-snap penalties. This has been a team at times that gets a little sloppy.
It's all about focus and concentration, and you know Coach Fleet over there really is chomping at the bit, because those kind of penalties are what just drive him insane. Not only him, but of course Mike Owens too.
Especially when you have the lead, you have the momentum, and you have a team wondering how long this thing might last. As far as the defense of North Mesquite is confused, although they did make a big play on the sack. Straight eye formation here. Williams, the wingbacks. 1st and 15. They run Jason, wingback counter. 30. He's got about 4. Nice tough tackle by, that is Elmer Patterson and Trevon Wilson, the safety, who's not afraid to make a hit. Junior. Gain of 4 yards at 2nd down and 11.
Well, their linebackers and safeties, David, they really play run support pretty well in the middle of the field. It's outside, way outside, where Lee has gotten them early in this ball game, and just a nice bit of pursuit from the Stallion defenders.
2nd down, 11 after the procedure call. They do get 4. Jonathan Williams checks in, splits far side. Tight end Giles near side, left hash. Bush, the flanker. Split backs behind Hill are Price and T.Y. T.Y. bounces it outside. 35, 40. Got about 8-9 yards out to the 42-yard line. Nice block downfield by Jonathan Williams and a full block from Sam Banks.
And he just laid him right on. Number 44 or 45 Egbo coming back across. Actually, it was Tim Sharp trying to come make the tackle, and a nice block. Tyrone just really outran Elmer, the linebacker, who had an angle on him, but he cut right back by him and showed that great speed.
So here's 3rd and 3. Big play for Lee to try to keep the momentum as they're under a minute and a half to go first quarter, up by 14. And a big play for North Mesquite's defense, led by Dan St. Leger, the defensive coordinator, as they're down 14. Offset eye, Lee at the 42. 3rd down and about 3. Wingback counter, Jason Williams, nowhere to go, stops him short, and they ran that again. There's nothing there, and North Mesquite defense comes up with a stop, and that time again, Laurent Elmer. Thank goodness they did give his correct name, because he's been involved heavily on the defensive end.
Well, the right defensive end, Patrick Egbo, really stopped the play up and did not allow it to come back outside. Then he got backside help from 3 or 4 white jerseys with the Stallion stop.
Brandon Jackson and Trevon Wilson back to receive the punt. Jackson has taken the punt back 92 yards earlier this year. Josh Hill leads the district with a 45-yard average as a punter. John Giles, the deep snap. Josh, line drive punt. Wilson fair catch at his own 17-yard line, and that's a nice job again by Josh Hill of turning the ball over. There's a flag down now at the Lee 43-yard line. And John Giles is talking to the umpire, who is Brandon Kirsch, and wondering what that might have been, and this could go against Lee and cost them the possibility of a very nice punt with no return. Now the officials, Lone Star Chapter, Doyle Pogue, Brandon Kirsch, Chuck McElroy, Russell Bishop, and also Dan Metcalf talk it over, and they're going to most likely wave this thing off. So now North Mesquite at the 17-yard line, and this could also be a dead ball foul that could go against either Lee or North Mesquite. 41-yard punt and no return, and that's the one thing Josh has done such a tremendous job of. 44.7-yard average, and this is a 15-yard dead ball foul against John Giles. And I got a feeling he's going to hear from somebody on the sideline, because you give North Mesquite very good field position. after you pinned them back inside their 20-yard line.
Josh Hill, just talking about him as a punter, David, he's a real weapon for Lee this year, but you cannot give a team back 15 yards. Big penalty.
Oh, you just can't do it whether they're at their 5 or your 5 or the 50. It doesn't matter. It's a 15-yard freebie.
Yep.
Witherspoon. Pass knocked down by Dominique Van Zandt. He almost picked that thing off. They were trying to find the wide receiver on a curl route that time. And it's incomplete. Witherspoon has now thrown 4 consecutive incomplete passes.
Well, Van Zandt just watches the quarterback, watches his eyes. He just throws the ball out to the right flat, and he steps right in front of it and nearly had a pick, and he would have had 6. That might have been what it was.
It's a home game. Home field advantage means get up and scream when the defense is on the field. It's unbelievable. Witherspoon, slip screen, nothing there. Cole Skate eats that alive as they found trying to get not Brandon Jackson, but that was Miller on the slip screen. He got nothing that time. And it's now 3rd down and 10 for North Mesquite. In fact, they may have lost a half a yard.
Jacoby McKenzie blows up the middle of the field, too, and he also goes out and makes a nice pursuit on the play from his interior line spot there.
3rd down and 10. Robert E. Lee up 14-0, but you can imagine, you feel like you're in a library right now. North Mesquite, they'll let the clock run out. First quarter, Lee 14, North Mesquite nothing. Back in 1 minute on News Talk 600 KTBB.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
That's what I like about Texas.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed?
Yeah!
Are we going to trade paint without fear?
Yeah!
Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
We start the second quarter at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler. 14-0 Robert E. Lee, North Mesquite with a 3rd and 10 at their 32-yard line. Craig Smug, little checking with you on the sideline.
Yeah, you can probably hear from the stands, but Coach Flea really getting on his offensive line. When they walked over to the bench, he said, "What did I tell y'all this week was going to cost us the game?" He said, "Penalties." He said, "It's ridiculous. It's unbelievable. You keep getting offsides penalties." And he pretty much warned them they better not do it again.
Thank you, Craig. We appreciate that as Witherspoon with Nevels in motion. Fakes the handoff, throwing deep post pattern. Great coverage there by the safety Ajiki, and Witherspoon took a shot from Jacoby McKenzie and also Justin Simmons as they got in his midsection. Brandon Jackson had no room as Ajiki was as much the intended receiver, and Lee's North Mesquite offense goes off the field.
Now that's a 3 and out. That time I was mistaken earlier, but nonetheless, Lee does a great job of pursuit, putting the pressure on the quarterback as they hit him right in the midsection just as soon as he released the last pitch.
Tony Bush stands at his 25. The punter is Will White, averaging 35.3 yards a punt. Lee dancing around, snap, brings some pressure. Nice. Oh, this is a rocket. Oh, my goodness. Bush will catch it at his 20-yard line and go down on the knee. Does a great job of catching it. But that is a Ray Guy rocket shot that time. 47 yards, and that thing got up above the lights, it seemed like to me, with no return. That's a weapon right there in the young punter from North Mesquite.
It had a tight, high spiral on it, too. That had to be, well, that was 50 yards in the air easily.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Maybe
absolutely. And Lee brought some pressure. Nice to see him bringing some pressure last week against Longview in the fake punt. They did not have pressure, and, of course, they were not able to stop the punter, Willie Cloyd. Lee at the 22-yard line. They run play action, and Josh Hill is buried. at the 15-yard line, and that's a great job by Tim Sharp. He saw something there of Lee on the misdirection, which they do a ton of. They rarely just go back in the pocket from the pocket and throw the football, and they lost 7 yards, and that's a great play by the junior middle linebacker of North Mesquite.
Well, they no doubt scouted the film of the Longview game last week because Josh was running for his life on that play on several occasions. Sharp just knives through, and it appeared to be unblocked, and he rode down Josh Hill for a big loss.
Well, even if there was a block, it was unblocked because there was nobody there to do anything. That's just a great job. Lee runs a lot of misdirection. You got to give a guy like Tim Sharp or whoever of reading, watching a ton of film to see some sort of tendency, and he saw it right there. Lee from the 15 now. Play action, Josh bootleg outside, gets a block from Giles, 20. Makes first man miss and gets close to the 24, and that time he had people coming after him, but they took the wrong angle, and it was Tim Sharp again, but a gain of 9, and Josh Hill is down on the far sideline. Now, last week, Kerry Ainsworth saw this, and he has no idea where he is right now. Well, you hate to see this because last week Longview rattled him pretty good, and we felt like after the interception that he made the tackle that Adrian Brooks may have hit him in the head with a knee when he was trying to make the run, and I think they're going to have to call timeout. Josh Hill is in.
He's woozy.
Yeah. And he doesn't know. And I don't know if the coaching staff realizes Josh doesn't know maybe if he's playing Longview or North Mesquite right now. It's 3rd down and 7, and he remains in the game. I'm surprised at that. When I asked a couple of the coaches last week if he think he took a shot in the head, but Josh told me, in fact, that he did. He's still looking, trying to figure out where he is. Takes the snap, runs Tyrone outside. He needs to get a block. He does at the 30. No, he doesn't make it. That's a great play. Hey, and this Stallions defense has picked it up a notch. Robertson or Patterson there and Lucas Cullen, and Lee for the 2nd time now has been told that they're not going to get a first down by the North Mesquite defense, and Tyrone just gets just a yard that time.
Well, the 2 defenders there just fought right off their blocks and knifed right in and got Tyrone before he could get any further outside. They're making some nice plays too, though.
4th down and 3. Josh will now take the punt. Fielded from inside his 15-yard line. Giles is the deep snap. Up back is Peyton Price. 9:15 to go first half. 14-0. This is a fake, and he's got all day long. 30, 40, 45 into North Mesquite territory. And Lee, which rarely ever does something like that, they sure did that time, and that was absolutely beautiful. 30 yards, Peyton Price with a fake punt.
They snapped it right back to the up back, and that's Price, and he just wheels around the right side. Had 2 blockers in front of him, and no one is at home for North Mesquite.
There was nobody there until the 2 deep men, Jackson and Wilson, who were fielding the punts, were the only ones there. He also got a great block and a seal block. And then John Giles got mixed up with somebody at the end of the play, and Peyton Mullins got out there and slowed him down. Gain of 30 that time for Peyton Price. And Preston Hill has checked in now at quarterback, the junior for Robert E. Lee, who threw for 1,238 yards as a sophomore. So he will come in the game. First down, Lee at the North Mesquite 41. They run the wingback reverse. Jason Williams hurdles somebody, gets down to the 40, and that's about it. John Riley, the defensive tackle, the nose tackle, makes the stop. It's Ravon Wilson there again, and it's 2nd down and 9.
Well, the trickery really came at a great time. I think Coach Owens felt that they were losing some momentum because of that great defensive stand from North Mesquite, that was probably a great call and a great time, and indeed it was.
Well, Tyrone Ross is now within 33 yards of tying Derek Farmer's record, 34 away from breaking it. Lee is at the 39 of North Mesquite on 2nd down and 9. This is T.Y. up the middle, not much there. Squirts down for a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 8. Tim Sharp, the middle linebacker, and quite frankly, this is a different North Mesquite defense right now than we saw in the first quarter. They are running to the football, whether it's misdirection or right at them. 3rd down and 8.
They're making Lee really go out of their own comfort zone, if you will. They're going to test them here and see if a good pass downfield can get the first down.
If you have time to throw it.
True.
Up front, Black, Banks, I believe Larman. No, it's Bailey, the center, Cope, and then Holland. Tyrone is the H-back. Here comes the blitz. They got it. Here comes a flag. It's defensive offside. They throw the fade pattern, and Simpson broke off his pattern at the 20. That thing sails out of bounds, but I think you're going to see an offsides call as they brought the middle linebacker or the safety that time, trying to get straight to Sharp, and they must have also known the count pretty well. But somebody made a great block inside to at least give Preston a chance to make the throw. That was the center, Andrew Bailey and Brian Cole.
And Preston wisely just really airs the ball out to get it on out where no one can catch it. Although it appeared the receiver cut off his route, the ball was just thrown 20 yards beyond anybody's reach.
7:46 to go. Usually when you know there's a defensive penalty, you try to take a shot downfield. 14-0. Robert E. Lee will update the other scores in District 12 5A in just a moment. At the 33-yard line. If Tyrone was to go the distance right here, he'd break the record. In the slot left side, Preston, here comes the blitz, screen pass, and there's nobody there. And they are right in the backfield of Robert E. Lee again. Great pressure by LaRon Elmer, and I think that people are starting to understand when Lee's running that screen pass.
Well, they sell it out, and they send the receivers towards the, their linemen up the middle, breaking off their blocks very quickly. North Mesquite just got right on top of Preston Hill. He threw the ball a second or two earlier than he wanted to.
4th down and 2, it's 4-down territory. Now, Cole Skates does have the leg to kick a 50-yard field goal, but up 14-0. Leo, now people will get up. Offset eye. Wingback reverse, Jason Williams. 1st down, 30. Nice, tough run. He didn't have it until he turned the corner. Larry Rosebud, the safety, makes the stop at Lee now. The fake punt continues to drive, and a 4-yard run from Jason gives him 4 more and a 1st down.
Just enough blocking to get him out wide as the Stallions do a great job of stringing it on out, and he cuts back outside for the 1st down.
John Giles with a nice seal block, the tight end, and they run that wingback reverse, and 7:35 to go. First half, 14-0 Lee in a good one at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. T.Y. Play action, in trouble again. Josh throws it deep, he's got Simpson. Can he get there? No, he cannot. But once again, running for his life as LaRon Elmer was in the backfield, and Walter just couldn't break away in time. Tony Bush was down there as well, and it's 2nd down and 10. It might be, okay, you're going to blitz us, we're going to come right at you, or throw some sideline patterns to Walter and Tony. Josh Hill, by the way, in the game.
Well, you try to counter that, David, with some delays or traps back up inside the seam. Number 4, though, Elmer really is a great little athlete. He gets after it on every play.
He really does. 2nd down and 10. Lee at the 27 or 28 of North Mesquite. 5-man defensive front. Josh. Counter trade, Tyrone breaks a tackle down to the 22. Nice tough run for about 7. Actually for 6 down to the 22. And LaRon Elmer again, the linebacker, sets up 3rd down and 4.
They're blitzing both their linebackers, Sharp and Elmer. They're just trying to shoot the gaps immediately and disrupt the play at its beginning. And Lee countered with a trap off the right side. 3rd down and let's say 3. Lee at the 21-yard line of the Stallions. 7 minutes to go. 2nd quarter, 14-0 Red Raiders. Split backs behind Josh. And here comes a flag. The center didn't apparently have the same snap, and unfortunately for Lee, that's a procedure call instead of 3rd and about 2.5, 3 with a lot of options. It's 3rd down and 8. It's these little things that just keep adding up. I've got 4 now for 35 against Lee, and those really have been the biggest disruptions in the ball game. Otherwise, they're playing pretty well. It's just these penalties have to cease. Bill Parcells, when I go to Cowboys training camp, talks all the time about hidden yardage. That includes return yardage, that returns penalties. It also includes penalties that extend drives when the other team keeps the ball. 3rd and 8 Lee at the 26.5-yard line of North Mesquite. Simpson, far side of the slot, Williams. Tony Bush near side, Giles in motion. Shotgun Josh, here's the snap. Steps up, fade pattern, incomplete, intended for Giles. There was nobody there. There was somebody there anyway, Vincent Butler. And it brings up 4th down, and you would think here Cole Skates, the kicker, the senior, who during his career is 11 of 13 field goal kicking. At the 26, this would be a 43-yard field goal attempt. But it looks like they're going to wave off the attempt. 6:48 to go. Preston Hill is checked in as a wide receiver as Lee goes to the 3-receiver set near side. Simpson far side. Shotgun Josh, T.Y. the up back. Snap, Josh rolls right, sets up, hit as he throws, incomplete.
and they got to him again. That was Lucas Cullen, and North Mesquite is getting all in the face of Josh Hill, and they are just coming at that Lee offense, and this game is turned around as Lee fails on the 4th down conversion.
Well, Cullen just comes up from the outside, and he is unblocked, and he chases down Josh Hill from behind. He cannot see him coming, and just as soon as he tries to release the football, he's hit broadsided, and a nice defensive stop for the Stallions.
Mesquite Horn leading John Tyler second quarter up at Hanby 14-0 in that game. And North Mesquite is just a big play away from getting back in this game with 6:43 to go, second quarter. Bobby Osborne, the defensive tackle now for Robert E. Lee. I think Lacey made that play earlier when I mentioned it was Osborne, and now there's movement on both sides, and I do think that that's against North Mesquite's 2 guards. Pacina and Adams both moved. Not so sure if they were drawn off by Osborne, though. Yep, it was against Robert E. Lee, and another pre-snap penalty. That's the 5th penalty for Lee. They have a holding call, a personal foul, and 3 procedure calls. That's a defensive offsides call and 2 offensive procedures. Nick McClain now will check in at nose tackle for Robert E. Lee.
Too much anticipation there up the middle, and head start costing.
6:43 to go. 14-0 Lee. Mesquite, North Mesquite with the ball at their 39-yard line. 3-man front. Witherspoon. Draw play. Oh, there you know, he fakes it and tries to get outside, and Cordero Mumphrey with a nice play by 19, Cordero Mumphrey. And then Cole Skates helped him out, gets an assist, and it's now 2nd down and 9. They lost 3 yards.
Cordero Mumphrey just whips the block of number 74, Grant Garner, stands him up and pushes him back right into the quarterback who's trying to get around on the fake back to the near side.
6:19 clock counting. Robert E. Lee 14 and North Mesquite nothing. Witherspoon looks to the sideline. The offensive coordinator really is Steve Bragg, but also Brian Rigney and Keith McKeithen involved in the game plan. Shotgun, 31-yard line. Witherspoon wants to throw a fade pattern. Brandon Jackson with Micah Johnson, who I think picked it off, and he did. Boy, does this team need some picks, and they got it. And Micah Johnson, who had an interception earlier, gets another one, and a great play man-on-man with Brandon Jackson, his 2nd interception of the year at the 40-yard line.
And you know what, David, as you mentioned that, he has the only 2 interceptions for Lee on the season, and just what the doctor ordered, a nice turnaround for the Lee defense and a big pick from Micah Johnson.
And Lee gets it back at their 36-yard line with just under 6 minutes to go in the game. First half, 14-0. Blake Larman back in its center for Lee. Tight end near side left hash mark. This is T.Y. on the stretch. He's hit from behind by guess who? LaRon Elmer. Gain, no. Loss of 3 back to the 32-yard line.
Wow, he just shooting the gaps, David. He's just beating somebody there, really nobody there at all. He's just getting through and making a nice bit of pressure. He's wreaking havoc right now against the Lee offense.
You got to wonder, in the first 2 possessions, Lee was able to get the big pass fade to Walter Simpson, but North Mesquite is doing something different. They've made an adjustment here in the middle of a half, which is hard to do. 2nd down, 13. Josh takes the snap, steps up, pass caught. Simpson close to a 1st down at the 47, and I think he has it. It's very close. Elmer again, along with Trevon Wilson and Vincent Butler were there, and that time Josh ran away from pressure, and he picks up exactly close to the sticks, and I think he's just shy of a 1st down at the 46-yard line. So a gain of at least 13 or close to it, and they'll bring the sticks out here with 5:13 to go in the first half. Walter Simpson has 3 catches now for 61 yards and a score.
The Lee runs such great routes. They had another receiver on the far side of the field too. The pass was underneath to Simpson. He cuts back inside, and there's a nice gain there, 12 yards.
Short by about I'd say a football length, just outside the Lee 45-yard line. Peyton Price is checked out. Jonah Murphy's in the game along with John Giles. If you're now joining us, Robert E. Lee on their 3rd play from scrimmage. Jason Williams went 33 yards on a touchdown. And then Walter Simpson caught a touchdown of 33 yards. There have been like 4 plays in this game of 33 yards. North Mesquite's got 1 too. Here we go. 3rd down and about a foot or 2 for Robert E. Lee at the 46-yard line. The center is Larman, the 230 senior. Josh Hill, the quarterback. Lone setback is Tyrone, double tight set. on the left hash mark. They set the chains, they wind the clock, and Josh gets behind Larman, quarterback keeper, and surges ahead for a first down in the game of the yard to keep the drive going, up by 14.
I think Coach Owens and Coach Wynn, what they want to do is have a nice sustained drive. Of course, they've got to do a little bit better job of picking up the blitz and the shooting of the gaps from the linebackers for North Mesquite.
First down and 10, and if you know that happens tonight, the people who get to play Lee a little bit later in the year, whether it's JT next week or Mesquite in 2 weeks or whoever it might be, Horn in 3 weeks, they'll try to figure out what North Mesquite is figuring out. Murphy checks out, Williams near side, Simpson far side, tight end is Giles, lone setback is Tyrone. Fleet also the tight end. Here comes the blitz, play action pass. Josh, man open, Fleet, close to a first down, he has it. Nice job by Tyler Fleet, his second catch, third of his life, and he got about 15 yards. Wilson on the stop, and he had to turn around to make that play, and a nice throw from Josh Hill and a gain of 13.
With the play action, froze the linebacker for a second, although Sharp did shoot the gap once again, but sent the quarterback to the far side of the field to make the completion. And Lee's plays really take some time to develop in a matter of seconds, and I think North Mesquite has picked up on that and decided to shoot the pressure.
But this is a good-looking drive here. At the North Mesquite 40, Josh up the middle, Peyton Price, 30, one man, go baby, 10-5, there goes the blitzing.
Yep.
Peyton Price, 40 yards, touchdown, and a great drive. The coaching staff made adjustments. The players stepped it up. They got kind of involved in this time. 40 yards, Peyton Price, touchdown, 20-0, Robert E. Lee.
And after going outside all game long, throwing the ball and running the ball, Lee just counters back with that quick blast up the middle. And once he broke the plane of the line of scrimmage, David, he was off to the races.
And you know what? Initially, he was hit by somebody. He might have run into his own offensive lineman or somebody got him, but he kept on pushing. 4:26 to go. Giles snapped at Preston Hill. Here's Skates with the extra point, and he got it. 4:20, that's a big drive right there, and a great pick by Micah Johnson to kickstart it. 21-0 Lee with 4:26 to go in the first half.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on it.
Man, I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not.
Where you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive the stick?
Hi, I'm Becky Martin. I've been with TISD for 19 years, and I teach English here at Robert E. Lee, and you're watching TISD Football on Cox.
4:26 to go after the Micah Johnson interception. Lee scores. Here comes Johnson now with the kickoff. Very high, not as deep, and it's Brandon Jackson at the 13. Looks for the wedge. Now wishes he was back in Mesquite as he's torn under inside the 20-yard line. Great coverage that time by Adrian Beard. There's a flag down, and this is going to go against Lee, though. It looks like an offsides at the 40. And again, it's another one of those, when you call in tennis, Randy, unforced errors, if in fact this is an offsides call on the kick return. Especially the kick return coverage did everything they could do, and they'll probably make Lee kick this thing again, although not sure.
Or they're going to take over inside the 20. If they don't, that's going to be the call. And yeah, you mentioned that. That's what kills tennis players in great tennis matches, when they just beat themselves.
When the other guy hits a cross-court winner, or the other, but you give away, again, hitting yardage, because especially now what you got to do here is not look at the 5-yard offsides call, is look at the difference of where North Mesquite starts the drive compared to where they are right now.
On that drive, David, 5 plays, 64 yards, and 125 for Lee, and Peyton Price with a nice 40-yard blast up the middle for 6.
So here it's 21-0 Lee, 4:21 to go first half. 14-0 Horn, late second quarter against John Tyler. And listen to this score, at least for now. Rockwall 3, Longview 0. with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Justin Brinker, is that correct? 3-0 Rockwall over what might be a pretty flat team out of Longview, at least at this particular point, with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Johnson now from his 35, this time a little swim kick, and North Mesquite that's a great job by the up man to just happen to turn around. That is 17, Colton Morris, and you talk about a difference on the offsides call of about 23 yards is where North Mesquite takes over with 4:21 to go in the first half.
And I'm not sure Micah really was trying to squib it. Seems to me it appears that he shanked it a little bit, but it was right towards the backpedaling lineman to make the wedge block, and fortunately for North Mesquite, he turned around and would have hit him right in the back.
James Wilson is checked in. He's a good-looking kid, 82, number 82, the senior, 6'1", 207, along with Justin Simmons at defensive end position. Osborne's the tackle. Shotgun Witherspoon, looks like Lee's bringing somebody. They run the draw play up the middle, and Dominique Van Zandt along with DeHaven down at the bottom of that pile, and Dominique, his brother Martell, is at Oklahoma State playing special teams for the Cowboys, and they got a big one against A&M tomorrow. Justin Warren, the former Lee Red Raider, who's playing linebacker for them. Justin Simmons there as well, no gain for Thompson.
Well, Lee has a hand, 5 to 6 really good, great playmakers on defense, and that time there was Van Zandt to read the run and make the play.
3-man front, Witherspoon in the shotgun. They do give it to Thompson. They run the reverse, and there's nothing there but red jerseys, and they pull him down after a gain of only a yard. And Lee, everybody kept their spots. Justin Simmons didn't crash. He was back there, and even though Jackson gets about a yard, or was that? Well, that was Lafitte again. General Lafitte, one of the great names in high school football, but a great job by Lee on everything went right.
There was a double reverse, and a play earlier, too, that Lee busted up was a flea flicker attempt. And right now, North Mesquite's trying to pull everything out of the book.
Jacoby McKenzie, who's got 3 sacks, a great pass rusher back into defensive tackle. Shotgun, Witherspoon. Has a lot of time. Now pressures, now throws, pass tipped, incomplete. And Takarian Cuba. Nice to see him as he hit the receiver that time. 81 Nevels and separated him. And Takarian Cuba is just a sophomore. And Randy Huffstickler, the defensive back coach, saying this guy can be a star. We just got to get him some time out there in clutch.
Well, he brings the wood. We saw that against Trinity on several plays, making tackles in the secondary. Well, he just trails the play, picks up the receiver beautifully, and hits him right as the ball gets here, jarring it loose.
And this would be a great time for everybody to get up and cheer the defense after a 4 and out or 3 and out, but that doesn't happen. 4th down, back to punt. It is Will White, gets it off. Another monster shot. Boy, this is kind of fun to watch it. Tony Bush, nice catch at the 20, 25, 30, and knocked out of bounds just outside the 30-yard line. Jason Stripling also got a little leather that time, and Lee will get nice field position as Matt Uzzell with a good block as well for Robert E. Lee. 39-yard punt, 13-yard return from Tony Bush, and Lee has 2:54 to work with it and 65 yards to go.
Tony Bush does a great job of concentrating. Had to reach down and kind of had a snow cone there with the football, catching it on his fingertips, but he does control it, picks it up, and skirts around the far side for a nice return.
So here we go with 2:54 to go. First half, Lee 21 and North Mesquite nothing. North Mesquite looks like they're bringing the blitz. They run TY on the stretch, and now he wants to reverse. Oh, look at this. This is one of those runs. He got 6 yards, and that's about as good a 6 as you can get because he was going to lose 3 yards. And LaRon Elmer is on my all-district team already. Man. It's 2nd down and 4, and TY got 6.
Well, LaRon Elmer chases him down, but TY follows behind his blockers, but North Mesquite does a great job of blocking it up to the near side of the field. He just simply stops, finds a hole, squirts back inside, and makes something out of nothing.
Tyrone is 24 yards away from breaking Derek Farmer's all-time rushing record. 2nd down and 4. TY counter Trey. Maybe he gets it here. He might. He's getting close. Down to the 40. 25 yards. Tyrone Ross. No, he didn't get 25. He is just so close that time. Down to the 40-yard line. A gain of 19. He was close to busting it. And it was Elmer and Chuck Carroll in the stop as TY got 19 yards.
Well, as he broke through the interior line, David, he's looking for somewhere to go, and he does a great job of finding and having a big gainer.
Tyrone with 100 yards rushing. Tyrone has the record. Tyrone may go down inside the 30 to the 26, and right now, Tyrone Ross is the all-time leading ground gainer in Robert E. Lee history, a gain of 14 yards and a first down.
Well, he has a nice hole up front. You got to credit the offensive line, which he will do profusely. They just blow open a massive hole as the blitzing is stopped for North Mesquite as Lee's marching down the field.
First down, Lee at the 26. Fullback Peyton Price nudges down inside the 25 to the 21. Gain of about 5 more. It was a classy act as the fans got up, maybe those who listened, and realized that number 4, Tyrone Ross, over 100 yards tonight. He needed 105 and he has 114. Price with 5 on the play. He has 87 himself on 4 carries. Minute 20 to go at the 21-yard line. Josh, counter trade, T.Y. Oh, he got upended there at the 20, got about a yard. Third down and 4 at the 20-yard line, and Taylor Richardson with a nice hit that time on T.Y.
Well, Lee just keeps it moving. They would love to get points here. A field goal would be nice, but 6 is what they're going to be panning for to notch it up another 6 points further in the lead to take it into halftime.
It's amazing how many yards that T.Y. could have had if he was ever truly the featured running back. Third and 4 at the 19-yard line. Lone setback, Jason Williams, play action, post pattern. He's got Williams. Does he catch it? You got to be kidding me. Oh, my goodness, he dropped it. What a great throw, though, by Josh, and a pretty nice effort without question as Jonathan got tripped up in the back of the end zone and almost came down with a touchdown. It's incomplete. It's 4th down, and here comes the kicking unit, and Cole Skates. This will be a field goal attempt of about 37 yards, depending on where Preston Hill will kneel.
Had he not stumbled in the far corner of the end zone and kept his footing a little bit better, he probably would have brought that ball down, David. The pass was in a perfect spot from Josh Hill.
Preston Hill, backup quarterback, will kneel at the 27-yard line. Cole Skates, 11 of 13 in his career. This is a 37-yard attempt. John Giles will snap it. Hold, kick is up, it's long enough, and the kick is good. And it could have been good from 50 yards. 34 seconds to go, first half. Robert E. Lee 24, North Mesquite nothing, back in 60 seconds.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
34 seconds to go. Micah Johnson approaches the kick, squib kick. North Mesquite will pick it up at about the 20. 25, and Lance Heap was a great job on special teams coverage to knock him down just outside the 25, and North Mesquite with 28 seconds to go will now have a 24-0 deficit at this particular time to try to make up.
Robert E. Lee, David, goes 7 plays, 36 yards in 2:15, and it's capped off from a Cole Skates 37-yard field goal.
First down, and Witherspoon has had a rough first half. He had the big play, 33 yards to Nevels, but he is now 4, unofficially 4 of 12 for 47 yards. In the shotgun. Quick step, throws, crossing. Oh, he dropped it. Brandon Jackson, the intended receiver, Micah Johnson was there in coverage, and Brandon's having a tough night. That's incomplete, second down.
He's getting a little bit better time to throw. That's the quarterback for North Mesquite, but nonetheless, he's got to have that connecting in from the backside, and give credit to Lee's coverage as well.
Micah Johnson and Ejiki and Cuba both have separated people as well. And Lee's bringing the linebackers quite a bit as well to try to see if they get a blindside shot. 24 seconds left. Now they go back into a zone. Back to throw. Witherspoon wants to go deep. The ball's tipped. Micah Johnson again in coverage. And well, I tell you what, Brandon Jackson pushed off, but the ball goes incomplete. Great coverage by Micah. It's third down and 10 with 17 seconds remaining first half.
Well, Lee's not in a very giving mood in terms of how they're playing on defense, David. They've just been very stingy, and they have, with the exception of a couple big pass plays that North Mesquite's had.
Well, just they had a 33-yarder and they had a 33-yarder. It's the only double-digit play they've had. This defense needs to be kind of ornery because they've been kind of picked on a couple of different times this year, and I think they are a little bit upset, and they're pretty frustrated. And they'd love to see the goose egg if they can, but there's a long way to go against a very potent offense here. Third down. Did anyone just see Cordero Mumphrey? He has a pretty good little dancing job right there. Warren DeHaven and Van Zant on the stop after just a gain of 2 yards from Aldarius Thompson, and now a timeout. Lee will take a timeout with 8 seconds to go in the first half and force North Mesquite to at least punt the football here from their 30-yard line and try to maybe bring somebody at the punter, who is Will White. Other scores in the district, again, 3-0 Rockwell. Justin, update us on that whenever you can. And also Horn up 14-zip second quarter against John Tyler.
The last 4 possessions for North Mesquite are 3 and out, interception, 3 and out, and 3 and out, as the lead defense, especially here in the second quarter, has just taken control.
Next week on Friday, Robert E. Lee will be at home, as will John Tyler, as they face each other here at Trinity Mother Frances Rowe Stadium. Following week, Lee is home again against Mesquite. And they've had 3 very tough road games at Lufkin, at Trinity and Pennington Field in Bedford, and of course the game last week at Longview. So a little home, sweet home, they hope, in the next 3 weeks, including, although, a double home game with JT and Lee.
And, you know, be honest, Lee's had a lot of bad luck. Obviously with the game in Lufkin, and then the lights go out at Pennington, and it was really downhill on that game from that point, as it was 8-7 at the time, but they've got to make their own breaks, and they've done it so far here in this game.
Lee will send Tony Bush back and bring 10 here to try to get to the punter, although just 8 seconds to go in the game. They have to have something big happen. Lee bringing all sorts of people. Here they come, and nobody gets close to him. He turns it over again. This guy's got a nice cannon, and Tony Bush lets it hit at the 30 and bounces backwards. And a nice punt that will die at the 31-yard line. And Greg Smoke with Lee up 24-0 is with head coach Mike Owens.
Coach Owens, your offense started off very crisp, but North Mesquite was starting to disrupt it a little bit with their blitzing. Talk about the adjustments you made to get out of that.
Well, they're doing a lot of blitzing from the edges, and they're bringing the free safety up the middle some. And, you know, free safety is hard to account for, so we've got to. And we started doing some things inside, though, that'll take care of that. And that's what we're going to have to do if they continue to do that.
Coming in here, North Mesquite was known for a very potent offense, led the district in receiving yards. Talk about the way your defense has played tonight, how they've been able to shut down their offense so far.
Well, they played with a lot of intensity, running to the ball and making plays, and our defensive line's doing a great job, so our linebackers. So right now we're in pretty good shape, but we're going to have to come out and play the same way because they were behind the horn, 21-7 at halftime last week.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right. Greg, thank you very much. By the way, Mesquite, North Mesquite has 52 yards, unofficially 52 yards in total offense here in the first half. 24-0. Robert E. Lee at halftime. Back with our halftime report brought to you by Kid Jones Convenience Stores in a moment.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Hello, my name is Donna Duncan. I am a teacher at Robert E. Lee High School. I teach English 3 and English 4 and am Dean of the School of Government Law and Communication. I have taught and worked for TISD for 27 years, and you're watching TISD Football on Cox.
On the 50-yard line, Southern Bell officers are Captain Shelley Meredith, Ashley Landis, Tara Richmond, Lindsay Templeton, Brittany Tomlinson, and Courtney Tomlinson. The ball drive, Alex Pierce, Wade Arnold, Wesley Hartwell, Ryan Harrison, Preston Hart, and Nick Spring. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Southern Bells perform a high kick routine to the music, Talk With Me, Dance With Me.
Can you believe it? Well, that's not
Ladies and gentlemen, there they go, the award-winning Southern Bells. The Bells are directed by Laura Miller and Kelly Cherry. Dancer of the Week, Katie Goodwin. Spirit Girl of the Week, Christina Bell. River Independent School District proudly present the pride of Robert E. Lee, the Red Raider Marching Band. And now, under the field direction of head drum major Adrian Jones, assistant drum major Brian Kelly, and Mondale Ahua, and field conductor David Meeks. The Red Raider Band presents part of their 2004 contest show entitled Waterworks. Tonight's selections include Rain, Tears, and Rapids. Written by Daniel Montoya Jr., the Red Raider Band proudly presents Waterworks.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Some major trivia, I think we could say. In the first half this evening, Robert E. Lee's Tyrone Ross carried the ball 14 times for 120 yards. That's worthy of mention. But the important thing here is that puts Mr. Tyrone Ross 16 yards over the all-time Robert E. Lee High School rushing record. And we might add that there have been some very excellent rushers in Robert E. Lee history. We are now set to begin the second half of tonight's game. As the Red Raiders of Lee will be on defense.
Well, as we told you in the first half, the public address announcer has just told everyone else that Tyrone Ross has broken the all-time school record for rushing in a career with a big 119-yard first half, and he got a great round of applause and looked like he was embarrassed as heck, to be honest with you. And T.Y. getting hugs from a lot of people, but there's football to play. Micah Johnson kicks off in a nice kickoff. Brandon Jackson at the goal line. At the 5, looks for the wedge. At the 10, bounces outside, tripped up, gets away. Nice job on the backside, though. And that's, I think, Walter Simpson who makes the stop. No, it's not. It's 35, Matt Uzel. Boy, Lonnie has got to be thrilled with that. As North Mesquite takes over at the 26-yard line with Witherspoon having a frustrating first half. Aldarius Thompson is the lone setback, and he's got receivers galore in Nevels, Miller, Jackson, and Will White, along with guys like Morris and Lafitte. First and 10, Stallions at their 26. They run the fake. Here's the option. Quarterback Witherspoon, not much outside the 25 for a couple of 3, and that's it. Jacoby McKenzie up front for Lee makes the stop. The defensive ends are Sherfield and Cordero Mumphrey. I love the emotion that Mumphrey was showing in the first half. Prior to each play, skates to Haven Van Zant, the linebackers, Nicholson and Micah Johnson, the corners, with Mitchell, Ajiki, and Stripley in the safeties for Lee on 2nd down and 8. Shotgun Witherspoon. Over the middle, nope, now pulls it down. Now throws pass incomplete, intended for General Lafitte. Nice coverage from 24, Micah Johnson, and great coverage from everybody else downfield.
Well, he really had plenty of time to throw the ball as the rush was not coming near him, but the coverage was such a good 5 or 6 second count went away. He had to roll to the near side and throws it behind his intended receiver. On the run is Ryan Witherspoon.
So 3rd down and 8. This is not what Steve Bragg and his offense wanted to start the game. Down by 24 as they try to find some sort of rhyme or reason. They all look at the numbers and plays on the wristbands. In motion, Brandon Jackson near side. He's been shut down so far. Snap from James Foster. Witherspoon tried to set up the screen, and he's got nobody there. It's got to be an illegal man downfield, and he throws that thing away. He's outside the pocket, but you know what? He didn't really reach past the original line of scrimmage. Great job by Lee reading that with Lacey and Sherfield and Mumphrey and Skates and DeVan Zandt and DeHaven and others, and it's 4th down, 3 and out for North Mesquite.
Yes, Skates and Ajiki both came up and read the play immediately. Of course, they see it so much in practice. The middle screen was going nowhere for North Mesquite, and the quarterback just really had to throw it away before he suffered a loss. 4th down, back to punt. Very nice weapon that they have in Will White. He's turned over a bunch of them, and he didn't turn this one over. It's a short kick. Hits at the Lee 40 and bounces down inside the 35 to the 32. And that's where Robert E. Lee, nice job that time. Tony Bush, best thing to do is just get away from that one. Halftime score, Mesquite Horn leading John Tyler 21-0. Horn's got a great running back in Mon Williams. And also Lufkin in 14-5A. They've been coasting past everybody in a game at home against Klein, leading 7-0. That's the first time they've been challenged since they played Robert E. Lee a few weeks ago. In the game, the quarterback is Josh Hill. Randy and Reba kind of a little bit worried that their son's been hitting the head a few times. Here's the handoff, T.Y., nothing there. He's gobbled up after he lost about a half a yard. Last thing we need to see is they throw it back 10 yards and he loses the record, but that time a nice job by 56 Stephen Thomas on the stop. Up front for Lee, Black, Banks, Larman, Culp, and Holland. Giles, the tight end. We'll see Murphy and Fleet at times. And Simpson, Bush, and Williams, the receivers. Price, Ross, and Williams rotate quite a bit at various spots in the running back game. Loss of a yard for T.Y. Yeah, North Mesquite does a great job of bottling up the play and really can get nowhere with 3 or 4 white shirts converging.
24-0, Robert E. Lee. They run play action. They got a man deep, and that is Peyton Price. He couldn't get to it. He was a step away, and there's also 2 receivers in coverage, and I don't know if that's supposed to happen, as John Giles had run a deep drag, and Peyton Price was a step away from going the distance. He scored on that same play against John Tyler last year in his first start, and that thing would have gone a long way. This Lee offense, Randy, has had more long touchdown passes this year than almost the entire time since the days of Fred Coleman and Andy Newberry.
Well, they're stretching it out and throwing it long, and it appeared somebody ran the wrong route, and we're going to assume it was Giles, as he almost ran right into his teammate and intended receiver Price.
So Lee forced North Mesquite to go 3 and out on their first possession of the second half, and here comes the blitz. Josh, good protection, sideline Tony Bush. That's just like bread and butter right there. Out to the 48-yard line, and Josh has been hitting his receivers, possession catches. That's a gain of 19 yards to Tony Bush out to the 48-yard line on a first down for Robert E. Lee. They've had some very clutch third down possessions by Bush and Simpson.
Nice job up front for the linemen, Black, Banks, Larman, Culp, and Holland. They do a great job of protecting their quarterback, Josh Hill, and he has ample time to complete the pass to Tony Bush.
2 minutes into the second half. Lee with the first down at their 48. Josh to T.Y., bounces it, cuts it inside, and Tyrone with about 10 or 12. Look at him go down inside the 40 for a gain of 12 more. Vincent Butler, and that's a great cut that time by T.Y., and a gain of 12 and a first down.
That's the part of his game, and we mentioned it nearly every week, where he has really greatly improved. He wasn't bad at it, but what he's doing now is he's letting his linemen, he's picking his spots and finding holes, and he really normally would run through people, but now he's using a lot more great vision on the field.
At the 39-yard line of North Mesquite, offset eye. Josh Hill to Peyton Price. He bounces it outside and keeps on going. Keeps going and gets about 3 tough yards. Fullbacks, they rarely just kind of have something pretty, don't they? They got to knock into somebody. They look for somebody to hit, and he got 3, second down and 7. Tim Sharp, he and LaRon Elmer are 2 very, very good linebackers for the Stallions of Steve Bragg and company.
Well, Price was going to take the run and try to run it right off his guard, but the play was strung out nicely by several Stallions, pushing him out forward, and just a great individual effort on the side to get the yardage that he did for Peyton Price.
Longview has scored finally against Rockwall to lead 7-3 in the third quarter against Rockwall. Longview 7 and Rockwall 3 third quarter. 2nd and 7, T.Y. in motion. They run that little wing back counter, and he does get outside. Saron Black keeps his man in control, and He gets about 3 or 4. That's a long way to run for the Human Island, but he did stay on Elmer that time. And Patrick Egbo gets the tackle. Gain of 3 more for T.Y., and it's 3rd and 3.
And T.Y. really wanted to cut it back inside just past the hash marks, but he really had nowhere to run, just kept falling behind his blockers in front of him. Finally cuts the corner and picks up a nice short gain of about 4 for Robert E. Lee.
3rd down, and the ball is at the 32-yard line of North Mesquite. Lee's opening possession up 24-0, 3rd quarter. 1 setback. That's Peyton Price, and there's a pre-snap penalty. Holland and Culp for the 2nd time tonight. They kind of let a little ring around the rosy. One moved, the other one did too, and it's 3rd and 8. And both times now on 2 procedure calls, Randy. It's hard enough to do that. Actually, it might have been, no, that's right, they got a substitution. It was on 3rd and short, and if you're, anytime you do it, it's not good, but especially on 3rd down and short. Christian now in at right guard.
And that's happened at least 3 times now in the contest where they've had a 2nd or 3rd down and 2 or 3, and they've had the penalty.
3rd and 8 now at the 38-yard line. Josh Hill rolls near side, has to get away from Cullen. He does. Now wants to run. Boy, Reba and Randy are going nuts here. Down inside the 25. Reba, turn to your husband, take a deep breath. He got the 1st down. Nobody touched him. And a nice play by Josh Hill. And now there is a whistle. And there's a player down on the far side for Lee, right around midfield. And Weldon Thompson and his crew will attend to the injured Red Raider. And we're back in 1 minute on News Talk 600 KTBB.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
And I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not
where are you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
1st down, Robert E. Lee, Josh Hill. Here's another flag on the pre-snap, and they were looking to John Giles down the middle, and that one comes back, and it looks like procedure. Matt Holland, the senior 271 right tackle, did get up on his own power and walked off the field. That's the good news. Ryan Davenport comes in, the senior. Craig Smoke may have been able to see either one of those. Craig?
No, I wasn't able to notice that, but yet you can hear Coach Fleet, and you can just see on his face the disgust of having another penalty like this, as well as the rest of the coaching staff. I mean, they are up 24 points, but in this district, you want to play good, clean football, and when you're having penalties almost every other play, it hurts you.
Well, here's the thing as well. Let's just be honest about this. There are 4 games to go tonight, and then JT, Mesquite, and Horn. Lee has no room for error because of the loss to Longview and because of other teams that have won as well. 1st down, Josh fakes it to Tyrone, in trouble, throwing deep, and Peyton's got another one. Touchdown! And that, my friends, is a phenomenal play by the quarterback and one of his best buddies, Josh Hill, who beat Tim Sharp downfield. Sharp tried to get the blitz, and Josh hung in there tight. 29 yards, touchdown. Robert E. Lee was 7:40 to go, 3rd quarter.
And just as he threw the ball, he gets hit, but he does a great job of concentrating, and he finds a wide open Peyton Price, who had beaten the defender to the goal line to make the catch, diving into the end zone.
Peyton's 2nd catch for 33 yards, and again, Peyton also earlier this year had caught 3 other passes. 2 touchdowns a year ago against John Tyler. He's a touchdown machine himself. Cole Skates, extra point, good. And great job by Josh stepping up into pressure and just flinging that thing a la Brett Favre. Just saw somebody get open. And, you know, we could talk about Tyrone and Jason Williams and Walter Simpson and Tony Bush, but that little medical school student in the future, Peyton Price, who's just a good kid, he's a weapon for them. Coming into the game, Peyton had scored 3 touchdowns rushing. He has scored 2 more tonight, and that's another player that the other teams have to deal with.
That's true, David, and he is definitely what he brings to is great amount of speed from the fullback position and elusiveness, and he runs great routes. Very heady, intelligent player.
And quietly, Josh Hill, who had a very difficult second half and at one point only hit 2 of 11 passes against Longview, has only had 4 incomplete passes. He's unofficially 9 of 13 for 137 yards and a headache. And now the touchdown, not only to Walter Simpson, which is just a spectacular post pattern, but also, again, the touchdown there to one of his best buddies in Peyton Price. Lee up 31-0. This team needed that, and now they will kick off Micah Johnson from his 40.
8 plays, 68 yards, and 319 for the touchdown, and the last 29 coming on the pass from Hill to Price.
Micah kicks. This is Thompson from the 6. Looks for the wedge, bounces it outside. There's a flag. He does get loose, but this one's coming back. Aldarius Thompson outside near his 40. Knocked down on the other side. But this thing is coming back on what looked like a clip on Lance Heap, and Craig Smoke was right there with it.
Exactly, it was on Lance Heap. It was Peter Salazar, number 42, and Lance Heap, if he wouldn't have got pushed in the back, probably would have made that tackle back around the 15.
And when you're hustling downfield, Craig Smoke, you're going to get guys who have to hit you in the back because they're out of position, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, Lee's got a great special teams on kickoff return. I mean, they come down there flying, and when you got so many guys coming down there so fast, you're going to get a hold or a clip or two to try to prevent that.
So, again, when you're jacked up on special teams, that's usually a sign that you've had a good week of practice, usually a sign that people are focused, and the kick return coverage teams at times have been gassed a little bit this year. And that forces North Mesquite to start this drive back inside the 7. And we have called Lance Heap's name quite a bit tonight. And North Mesquite down 31 will take over from just outside the 7-yard line. Well, Bobby Osborne in the game at defensive tackle. First down and 10. Stallions looking for something. Here's the delay to Drew Williams. Warren DeHaven fumbles the football. And there's a wild scramble for the football. DeHaven says that they have it. Cole Skates may have gotten underneath of it. And Lee, I think now, here's Dominique Van Sant, wants to be a cheerleader as well. Somebody's got to come out of there eventually with some leather. As a lot of guys jumped in the ball, and Lee has recovered a fumble. Not sure exactly who it was. Craig, did you see who had the ball? Was it Cole?
You look like Cole Skates might have had it initially. When somebody tried to jump on the ball, it kind of, as a football will do, kind of squirted out, and it took 2 or 3 attempts for somebody to finally get on top of it.
You know what? This team has had a horrible amount of luck. DeHaven forced it, right? They had a horrible amount of luck, Randy, and not just causing fumbles, but getting them. They've had the Jaworski Lane fumble, the fumble against Euless Trinity at the goal line on Itiaki, and that time they went down there and they scratched and clawed and picked it up at the 10. Hill, double tight set. Play action rolls out. He's got Tyler Fleet. No, in the back of the end zone. Giles incomplete. Great coverage that time by the linebacker, number 20, or the safety, Larry Rosebud. And all of a sudden now, Josh doesn't want to throw a pass unless he jumps in the air and throws it like that, which is pretty cool. It's 2nd down and 10.
Well, Lee's definitely getting some more work on their passing game. It's something that they pride themselves in, to use the balance. And, of course, they run the ball well, and they pass it pretty well, too. And nice attempt that time as Giles left up high, just couldn't quite reach it.
Tyrone has broken the all-time rushing record of Derek Farmer. He's 1 away from tying the record of Derek and Keandre Smith. Double tight set. This is T.Y. stretch. Saran falls down, cuts it back against the grain, and gets in. He gets loose. Could this be one of those? If that would have been it, look at Tyrone Rush. Give him a hand. That's a great 6-yard run. Oh, he is so much fun to watch. He almost tied it with one of the best runs he's ever had.
Well, it was just a great effort, and Patrick Egbo had a hold of him at the 12. He just wrestles free and then dodges forward and gets another 7 or 8 yards of hard running for Tyrone Ross.
6:40 to go, third quarter. Lee 31, North Mesquite nothing. Power on. Josh, deep pitch, T.Y. Here's a flag. He does get into the end zone for a touchdown, but there's a flag from Doyle Pogue, the referee, and it's holding against Robert E. Lee. Jonah Murphy was right there where the flag came down, along with 61, Stephen Christian, but that thing came very quickly, and Tyrone gets into the end zone, but this is going to cost the Red Raiders 10 yards.
Well, that's unfortunate, too. It appeared that Christian turned his man outside, and the umpire, the referee right there to throw the flag behind the play, 5 yards behind it.
Threw it pretty quick, though.
Yeah,
Threw it quick, and he threw it with force, and that's what you like to see. If you're going to make a call, don't just kind of toss it out there, and Doyle Pogue does that. And Tyler Fleet now in a tight end for Lee along with Giles. Bush and Simpson near side. From the 15, Josh steps up, gets away from pressure. Throws, caught. Fleet at the 11-yard line, gets part of it back, about 5 yards, and all of a sudden, the little sophomore Tyler Fleet has become a little weapon in the passing game at tight end. His third catch, gain of 4, and this brings in Cole Skates for another field goal attempt. T.Y. just yanked off his chin strap. He's pretty frustrated because he thought he had tied for the record.
Well, nonetheless, Tyler Fleet, you mentioned him. He's got a great set of hands. He makes the balls near him, and he's going to make the catch. And he's a nice added extra benefit possession receiver for Lee.
And he's also 190 as a sophomore, and with Gary, I'm sure, all over him in the weight room, he'll be about 225 by next year. Snap, and here's some press, and this might be against Lee for forcing them off. You know, this team, Robert E. Lee, I've been told by opposing coaches, others who have come and watched them practice, who like to get a tip or two during the spring, that in their opinion, Lee probably runs more plays per practice than anybody they've ever seen. And so what doesn't make sense is because they get so many plays in, and this is another pre-snap procedure call, this lengthens the field goal for Cole, but because of that, that's what doesn't make sense on the pre-snap penalties, because you would think that they're so drilled to where they're supposed to be. Okay.
Repetition.
Had a 27-yarder last week he made against Longview. Made one earlier today from 37. This one will be from 33, where Preston Hill will kneel at the 23-yard line. 6:19 to go, third quarter. 31-0 lead. Snap from Giles. Hold, kick, long enough, and good. He doesn't miss many. 34-0 Robert E. Lee back in 60 seconds from Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium in Tyler.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
The daily download on Fuse. It's a countdown and free online music. But it's a long day if you're waiting for dial-up. Get Cox high-speed internet and go to Cox.net. Enter the Get Your Daily Download sweepstakes. Win a trip backstage with the host at Fuse's New York studio, or you could win a TV PC package. Activate Cox high-speed internet service and you'll get a cool Fuse watch. The daily download on Fuse. Weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Download your favorite songs in seconds with Cox high-speed internet. Go to Cox.net and order today.
Hello. My name is George Faber, and I'm the Visual and Performing Arts Director for TISD. It is my pleasure to serve as the administrator of many fine award-winning programs in our district from kindergarten through high school, as well as work with many highly qualified teachers. Our main goal is to help students receive a well-rounded education of mind, body, and soul to promote the integration of arts into math, science, reading, English, and social studies. You're watching TISD football on Cox.
Micah Johnson kicking for the Red Raiders.
Micah Johnson kicking off, and this will drive Brandon Jackson again back into the end zone, where that's a touchback. And Micah Johnson is allowed take some pressure off of Josh Hill and Cole Skates in the kickoff game, and he drills that one. But you know what? You're not going to believe this. Robert E. Lee is going to get another 5-yard offsides call on the kickoff. So unlike this team. They've always been, they're going to have some penalties because of the complicated offense. At times they're going to have some fumbles and pretty complicated system. You're going to turn it over at times, but these 5-yard penalties are just they're like little gnats that you can't get rid of.
Well, 2.5 quarters, they've had 10 penalties now. 10. It's just a little too much. Maybe this is just a mirage that we're seeing tonight.
Well, think about this.
Just a blip on the screen, I hope.
Besides the 2 holding calls, every single penalty other than those 2, which are during the play, have been with the ball as a dead ball.
Sure.
Pre-snap, offsides on 2 kicking teams, and the 15-yard late hit on Giles after the play was over. That's when the other team's not doing anything, but you got time to iron them out. But I love that Micah Johnson drilled that thing in the back of the end zone. You got to be careful when you make a kickoff return team, though, have to run down the field twice. Micah, line drive. North Mesquite picks it up at about the 15. That's Trevon Wilson. Spun around by, who's become a great special teams player? Matt Uzel gets another one at the 25, and he grabbed on like a clothesline that time and knocked Wilson down at the 26-yard line. And Robert E. Lee with a 34-0 lead, and Cole Skates has added a couple of field goals in this game, and they are in total control with about 6:08, and it's exactly 6:08 to go third quarter.
They're getting a little work in every facet, throwing the ball, kicking the ball, covering, and Lee does a great job, as you mentioned. Special teams is a strength, notwithstanding the 1 or 2 turnovers they've had on fumble.
Jeremy Moore and Adrian Beard are now in at corner for Robert E. Lee. Heap and Cuba are the safeties, so the backup secondary players are in the game. Uzel and Banbury in the game. Here's a slant pass for about 7 or 8, and the ball goes incomplete. Nice job, and that was number 10, Adrian Beard, with Lance Heap involved. And all those games when the players were hurt, and a lot of these guys got time, and they just got hammered by Trinity, but they got quality time against great competition. Some of it as well last week against Longview, and before that against Rockwall. This is when you find out. Trevor Reed is in the game. Wilson, McLean, and Simmons in the game. Banbury, the middle linebacker. And it's 2nd down and 10 as Witherspoon throws another incomplete pass. That's 6 consecutive incomplete passes. Jumping up is Heap. Banbury now moves up inside, so does Stripling, who remains in the game. They run the draw to Aldarius Thompson. Gets away from Reed, but he forces him back inside, and a nice job by Lee to come up with a tackle. Looked like Banbury or Takari and Cuba. Not sure. It's 3rd down and 9 now for the Stallions of North Mesquite.
Yes, and the Stallions were only 1 of 7 in the first half on 3rd downs, David, and they've not done any better here. Obviously, they just had the ball 1 3 and out, and then the fumble on their first down play. So their offense has been grounded tremendously by Lee.
Witherspoon back in the shotgun at the 26-yard line. 34-0 lead. Throws pass caught by Lafitte and drilled by Jason Stripling. And man, is this defense a different defense when Jason's in the lineup, and they lost a yard on the throw. And great coverage again downfield. It is 4th down, punt time for North Mesquite.
And here comes their best weapon in Will White. But got to credit Lee. Since the latter part of the first quarter, they've just not allowed anything to North Mesquite. And North Mesquite brought a nice potent passing game, but Lee has just shut the door tonight.
Well, it's a passing game that uses the advantage if you don't have a lot of speed to kind of do a lot of those slip screens and stuff, and they've had no chance in this game to do that. They threw the 1 fade pattern. Here's the punt. Tony Bush lets it hit at the Lee 40, and it bounces sideways at the 44-yard line, and that time the punt coming from White, 30 yards, no return, and Robert E. Lee up 34-0, comes back in the field at their 44-yard line. White has had punts of 47, 39, 40, and 39, and Josh has had the 1 punt of 41. By the way, UAB is crushing TCU now, late 3rd quarter, 35-14. Here is the wingback reverse to T.Y. He does turn the corner, and here he goes. 40, gets a block. Giles, 30, inside the 30. What a nice run. Here comes a flag at the end of the play. Nope, that's just the whistle. No, there is a flag. And I think it may have been a block in the back against John Giles at the end of the run, which wipes out 10 yards of this. It will still be a first down. 27 yards on the run for Tyrone. He'll get credit for 17 of that. And I thought it was a nice block, and Giles the guy turned on him as he was about to hit him, and they call the flag, and they call holding, but not a block in the back, and that will cost Lee 10.
Well, the problem is he did it right in front of the side judge, and right in front of him, and he spotted it, dropped his flag immediately.
13 yards. 13-yard pickup for Tyrone, actually 23 yards, but he got 27. The spot of the flag was 23 yards downfield, so he gets 13. 4.5 minutes to go. Lee up 34-0. Still trying to check on an update. Mesquite Horn leading John Tyler 21-0 late third, and Longview led Rockwall 7-3 third. Lone setback, Jason the Hammer Williams bounces it outside, 40, 35, down to the 33. Walter Simpson with a block downfield on the safety Wilson, who made the tackle anyway, and a gain of about 8 yards from Jason. You've got T.Y. who beats you with quickness and explosion. You've got Jason Williams who hits you in the mouth with power, and Peyton Price who fools you left and right, will run over you and hit you in the mouth as well.
You got the sprinter in Ross and the slasher in Williams, and the pounder and really quick feet of Peyton Price. You mentioned it. Lee's running attack is very, very potent. We've seen it again tonight.
3:40 to go, and the band now get a little crunk. Second down and 2. Jason Williams, lone setback with Price and T.Y. on the wing. Peyton up the middle. That time not much there, and they tell you what, 44. Tim Sharp did a nice job of reading that play.
So did number 4, Elmer. We called both of those two. They've been very, very active. They probably the leading tacklers on the evening for North Mesquite. They've had to make a bunch of tackles because Lee has controlled the ball offensively as well. Has played a stellar defensive game tonight.
Settle me down, guys. I see one of those lead gentlemen holding my daughter's hand on the way back down to the drill team area. What a lucky guy. 3rd down and 3 as Peyton has 89 yards on 6 carries. Straight eye here. Peyton off right tackle, pulls ahead for a first down to the 30 for a gain of 5, and he's closing in on a 100-yard night himself. LaRon Elmer and Locke on the tackle. Craig Smoke, this lead team coming off a disappointing, gut-wrenching loss in Longview. So many things went weird in that game. How big is this just to kind of get themselves back into a rhythm and blowing out North Mesquite?
Well, I think it's a real big confidence booster, and Lee's getting to the point here where after they lost to Longview and having 3 losses already where their backs are almost up against the wall. I mean, not quite, but almost there if they were to lose a game like this. I mean, this has got to give you a good confidence boost, and knowing this team has played well this year also, it's got to give you some confidence to know you might be able to go and just win the rest of these games heading into the playoffs.
Well, North Mesquite, thank you, Craig, blows that play up as Jason Williams is ridden down for a loss of 4, maybe 5, and LaRon Elmer is there again.
Yeah. Well,
boy, he is amazing. Now, he was added to the team, Randy. Isn't that what they said? He's not even part of the team at the beginning. So. He's a sophomore.
He's a player, too.
I hope his mom and daddy get transferred pretty quick if you're a part of District 12 5A next year. He is amazing. 2nd down and 14 is Jason, who's got 46 yards on 7 carries. Offset eye. Josh rolls, throws the screen. Peyton Price gets a block from Banks, 30, down close to a first down, just shy at the 22. Banks threw a whiff block, but he got in the way enough to make Peyton get a little seam that time. And Rob Patterson makes the play. Gain of 11, actually 13 yards, down to the North Mesquite 22-yard line.
They bring up another 3rd down, but Lee has really responded in the second half, David. This will be their 4th 3rd down upcoming, and they've done well in the other 3. They've
3 players have 3 catches. Offset eye. T.Y. left tackle, bounces it inside, cuts it against the grain down inside the 20. He is running with authority. First down inside the 15. Elmer again on the stop, but a gain on the play down to the 14-yard line, and a gain of 8 more for T.Y. in this record-breaking night.
Now 4 of 5 on 3rd down conversions in the second half is Robert E. Lee, and they were 2 of 6 in the first half, so they've picked it up a notch offensively and keep grounding the ball. They have to watch out for that penalty bugaboo, which is really bitten them tonight.
Which has happened about now, too. 1:13 to go. 3rd quarter, 34-0. Robert E. Lee in total command. Jason Williams, double tight set. He's the deep man. Williams, left tackle, cuts it at the 10. Try to strip it from him down inside the 9, and he did a great job of holding on to that football. And a good, tough 4 to 5 yard run. Salazar on the stop for the Stallions, and Lee knocking on the door one more time. And I think if you're Lee, you're trying to get T.Y. maybe one more, but you got to know when. When do you also got to be careful? You got some more football games to play.
Yeah, well, you need to play him, even if it's going to be a lopsided score, as we're seeing thus far. He's been out of all the other games when they were 41
exactly
to nothing,
right.
34 to nothing.
The one thing
you run him to the fourth quarter.
He
anyway.
doesn't get 200-300 yard games because they spread it around, and they also don't try to run it up much. Second down and about 6. Wingback reverse. Williams gets a yard, and that's it. Down inside the 10. A little pushing and shoving after the play, and then a little love fest after that. Lucas Cullen was there. He's played well tonight for North Mesquite. And this brings up now 3rd down and 6 for Lee at the 10. I wouldn't mind seeing Josh. He's got 2 touchdown passes, one of them to Peyton Price and another one, and that's going to end the 3rd quarter. We'll talk more about it. Robert E. Lee, total command. 34, North Mesquite, nothing. Back with a 4th quarter in 60 seconds.
Car shopping can be stressful. With all the clutter out there, it's hard to tell what to buy. But at Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center, we believe that the simplest way is the best way. So we offer a large selection of quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, priced to sell with no hassles. Each vehicle has been through a 20-point inspection for quality assurance. You can shop in comfort under the awnings and check out our newly expanded lot with more inventory than ever before. Jim Lozier's Fire Station Auto Center on the corner of Glenwood and Vine and Tyler.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
I'm Aura Taylor, and I've been with TISD for more than 3 decades, and you're watching TISD football on Cox Communications.
North Mesquite nothing. Tyrone has checked into the game. He has 36 rushing yards. Tyrone has 36 career rushing touchdowns, 4 receiving touchdowns, 1 kick return against Longview. He's thrown 1 as well. And he's in the game at tailback, and so is Peyton Price, who has got to be a possibility as our player of the game. T.Y. in the wing. Here comes the blitz. Josh sets up, now in trouble, goes down at the 17-yard line, and North Mesquite brought the kitchen sink, the plumber. And again, it was Lucas Cullen. And what I tell you what, and a lot of people may disagree with me, and Randy, you've heard me talk about this before. At some point this year, if you're a football team that's going to go anywhere in the playoffs, if you get there, you've got to kick field goals to win a game, to do something. This is Cole's 3rd attempt tonight. He kicked 1 against Longview, and this is his 3rd attempt tonight, and it's good just to get down the practice. And this will be about a 34-yard attempt. And from a different angle, on the left hash mark against the east side of the end zone. 34-0, snap, hold, kick long enough, and it is good as well. Cole skates almost automatic. It's 37-0. Robert E. Lee with 11:07 to go. 4th quarter back in 60 seconds.
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
Here's a question. If you needed your insurance, who would you call? Not the name of the company, but the name of the person. You've got 2 seconds. Coming up blank, you may want to consider Allstate. You'd have a local agent you can count on, a licensed professional whose name you know, not just a number. You deserve a relationship with a real person.
For all your insurance needs, call the McIntyre Insurance Agency in the Albertson Shopping Center.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Micah Johnson has been as busy as anybody in this game, kicking off yet again for Robert E. Lee from his 40 to the east side and squibs it. North Mesquite will get great field position out to the 39-yard line. I don't understand that. They've had great coverage, but they're starting to squib it a little bit. And North Mesquite takes over at their 39.
I'll tell you what, David, Lee goes 11 plays, 33 yards in 4 minutes and 47 seconds. 11-play drive culminated with a 34-yard field goal from Cole Skates.
Caleb Foster making the stop on special teams for Robert E. Lee. And a lot of different plays. James Wilson, Simmons, and Osborne in the game in the front three. George Faber in the game for Lee as well, linebacker. Snap, Witherspoon pumps. Wants to fade it to Brandon Jackson. It could be picked off again, and it's caught by Jackson. See, that's the kind of stuff that is amazing. Lee is there. Cuba was there. Moore was there. They made a great play, and somehow or another was tipped in the air, and Cuba is down. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He does get up. It's a first down on a 32-yard fluke play, but Brandon Jackson stood with it, and he has a first down at the 29-yard line.
It's the first down for North Mesquite since the first quarter, as Lee's defense, notwithstanding that good fortune play for North Mesquite, has really put the clamps on him and shut him down.
He had 25 catches for almost 600 yards and 6 touchdowns receiving. That's his first catch tonight. Here's the draw to Drew Williams. Nope, that's Witherspoon who keeps it, fumbles the football, and Lee's Lance Heap has picked it up. And I tell you what, somebody from the backside made a great play. I think it was 22, Justin Hansen, and now they say he was down? Wow. Well, maybe he was. We don't have that good an angle, but boy, somebody came from behind like DJ did to Jason White last week. Just didn't punch. It punched it right into the hands of Lance Heap, and that was Justin Hansen hustling to make that play. I don't know how he could have been down, but maybe he was, and Witherspoon picks up 8 yards. And it's now second down and a couple. 10 minutes to go, fourth quarter, 37-0 Robert E. Lee. Man in motion far side, trip set that way. Witherspoon, Drew Williams up the middle for a couple of yards, and Trevor Reed was there. Nice job at a first down and a gain of a couple.
They just run with a delay trap and go back near side. Witherspoon on the prior play makes a nice cut up, and he had a great fake too to start the play off. His 4 or 5 Red Raiders went one way, and a couple others ran with him, and he hits the ground. The ball does pop loose.
Third, first down. They now move to sticks. 9:46 remaining. Lee with basically all backups in the game except Ajiki, who's at the safety spot. And a lot of those guys rotate. So Jacoby McKenzie's in at defensive tackle. Witherspoon shotgun. Slip screen to Jackson. Hit the ground. They say he caught it. Boy, he pulled that thing off the ground. There's a late hit on 76, but no call. Couple of yards to Brandon Jackson. Second down and let's say 8.
Go back inside, outside from the near side of the field. Cut back in was Jackson, and he took that right off the top of the ground, and he pulled it in for a short gainer.
George Faber is in at one of those middle linebacker spots, as we mentioned as well. And Matt Uzel back at the game too. Second down, 9. Witherspoon shotgun. Jackson in motion to the near side for a trip sets this way. At the 17, draw play Drew Williams up the middle, down to the 15, close to the 14 for a tough 4-yard pickup. A lot of players there for Lee. Bo Bambry, George Faber. And it's now third down and 6, Stallions at the 15-yard line.
Lee's going to have a little bend but not break. They're obviously going to have 4-down territory, are the Stallions. Robert E. Lee's going to try to preserve this donut they have going right now.
37-0 lead. Third down and about 6 for North Mesquite at the Lee 14.5. Witherspoon shotgun. Lee brings some linebackers. He dodges around, throws it out to Williams. He runs right into a cornerback, and that's a nice, tough tackle by Adrian Beard, the sophomore, who's going to be a good one. And that time he went man-to-man with Drew Williams and won the battle. Williams with a nice hit, too. And that got him about 3 more, so it's now 4th and 3, North Mesquite at the Lee 12-yard line as the Red Raiders try to preserve the shutout.
He had help from Trevor Reed and Lance Heap coming over to help polish off a nice, tough run on the swing pass to the running back.
4th down, North Mesquite with 8 minutes now under. Here's a timeout. Stallions down 37-0, and Robert E. Lee in total command. And now let's look ahead to the district. Not sure yet on the other finals. Horn was up 21 over John Tyner, and Rockwall was giving Lee a Longview fit 7-3. But let's look now at this district. This is a very tough loss for North Mesquite, and let's talk about why. Even though there's 7:58 to go, down 37, they've already lost to Mesquite. They have now a loss if they don't come back with a miracle tonight against Lee, and they still have Longview. And I think that game is, in fact, at Lobo Stadium.
Right,
so
that's correct.
That means you have the 2 losses if you don't pull off a miracle tonight, and you have Longview looming, which is not fun.
Well, they get Rockwall next week back there, probably at Memorial in Mesquite. And so that'll be a nice matchup where they should be favored. Then they'll have to travel to Lobo Stadium. Same week right here, week 10. And then they'll have the bye in week 11 or week 10, the final week of the season. North Mesquite's season could be over before Halloween.
Before teams have actually
Right.
finished up district play. 4th and 3 with Witherspoon in the shotgun at the Lee 12. Lee brings the blitz. That's Justin Hansen. And they complete the pass inside the 10. And there's a flag on a face mask call. He found the tight end. I think Eric Ajiki came over with the tackle and also got the face mask of the big tight end. Actually, they don't really have a tight end. They do in Dotson and Watland, or Watland, but this is going to be half the distance to the goal line. First of all, it's a 4-yard pickup on the pass to, I think, Will White from Witherspoon, and then a face mask personal foul. Boy, they're taking forever to do it. And now personal foul, face mask against Ajiki, half the distance to the goal, and now they have a first down even if he would have dropped the pass.
Right, well, the laundry party continues. 12 now for 95 or thereabouts for Robert E. Lee. North Mesquite has 2 for 14.
So they get penalties whether they're in Longview or not.
True.
First and goal, North Mesquite at the 4. 41-2, Mesquite Horn leading John Tyler. First and goal, Witherspoon. Little slip screen to the wide receiver, Aldarius Thompson, and he will score. Touchdown, and North Mesquite breaks the shutout. And I still would like to know, and look at a replay of that fumble, that he must have hit his knee on the ground because Justin Hansen made a great play, but North Mesquite does break the shutout on the touchdown from Witherspoon to, I think that was Lafitte. It was General Lafitte, the senior, and now they will go for 2.
Well, they really have no choice but to try to make more points up if they can, but a nice play as it was darted over to the right side. The receiver caught the ball at the 4 and danced in for 6.
Witherspoon still doesn't have 100 yards passing, even with those 2 30-yard passes. He runs the slip screen here, and he gets it to, nope, Neville's incomplete, and great coverage anyway by Lance Heap again. So our score, Robert E. Lee 37, and North Mesquite 6. We're back in 1 minute on KTBB.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed? Yeah! Are we going to trade paint without fear? Yeah! Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitzbradshaw Racing.
I am the king of home entertainment, or the Archduke at least. Because I have Cox Digital Cable. Cox has more high-def choices than ever before. And nearly all the high-def programming is free. How cool is that? Cox has great movies and sports programming in high def. Plus an interactive program guide that helps you find what you want, when you want. All with no equipment to buy or long-term contract required. You just can't get all that with satellite.
Tyler Independent School District offers more advanced studies programs than any other school system in East Texas. The International Baccalaureate Program challenges students through a rigorous academic curriculum. Mary Lee Jones at MIT calls it the best high school prep curriculum an American school can offer. Education Week magazine calls the IB program the Cadillac of college prep programs. Just one more way, Tyler ISD provides every child every opportunity every day.
The first of 3 consecutive home games for Robert E. Lee. The second game of the threesome is against crosstown rival John Tyler, when both basically are at home. You got to designate one of the two. 37-6 Lee with 7:40 to go, fourth quarter. Now you wonder if North Mesquite might, well, of course, try to set up maybe an onside kick to try to give themselves another chance.
And Lee's expecting it. North Mesquite, David, 8 plays, 61 yards in 2 minutes and 32 seconds. Their first drive for scoring tonight.
Sterling Turner is the kicker now for the Stallions. 37-6, and he hits it high and deep, and Tony Bush all by his lonesome back there at about the 10. He's got a 97-yarder earlier, gets around Cullen, goes out of bounds at the 21. There's a late hit. Lee's got to be careful with that. Number 85, Mason. A little bit late, and again, that's another one of those penalties you could have seen happen, and you just got to cut down on the penalties, whether you're talking about high school football or any level, because it just is something that's hard to overcome.
And it is, and if it's a tight game, which we had last week, it did come back to haunt them, as they really couldn't score at all until the overtime when they got the field goal from Skates. And tonight it hasn't been that big of a deal, other than it's glaring that they have a dozen of them. And some of them are over-aggressive play. Some of them are just lack of focus and control.
Lots of changes here. Preston Hill in the game now at quarterback. Brad Royal in the game at fullback. Justin Watson, wide receiver. This is Jason Williams. Outright tackle on 6 or 7 yards. Nice lead block by big 72 Brian Culp. And Saran got involved there. Saran kind of got chewed on a little bit last week. He had some pre-snap penalties himself, and Longview's defense started to get to that Lee offensive line last week, and he told me he would come back with a vengeance tonight. Haven't called him much, but at the same time it looks like he's been more involved. Second down 3 as Jason picks up 7.
Well, with the exception of that heavy blitz rain down from North Mesquite in the second quarter, Lee has really controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, as the score indicates.
And Devron Parchman is also looking to check in here. This is Jason, left tackle, stretch play, 35, breaks the tackle. Out to the 40. That's a nice, tough run of 11 yards, and that's the future running game of this team, along with the present as well, which is a nice present to have. Both T.Y. and Jason and Peyton Price. Black that time led the way in a gain of 11 yards.
Almost as if on cue, there goes Saran with a nice lead block, clearing out on Mr. Sharp, the linebacker, who's been on like 25,000 tackles tonight. Just
so now 6:40 to go. Oh, he's been on a bunch. You're down one on that.
Okay.
He had an assist on one of them. First and 10 Lee as they try to run it out at their 40-yard line, and they lead 37-6 over North Mesquite. Split near side is Parchman. Here's the fullback counter to Brad Royal, and he gets about 7, takes a shot right there in the shoulder at the 48. And Brad Royal, who scored against Rockwall a couple of weeks ago, gets 7 yards, and Lee has got some outrageous numbers on the ground tonight.
Well, they've just done a great job, and now all they want to do is just get the game over with, keep the ball on the ground, move the chains down the field. Hey, if they score again, great. If they don't, just eat the clock on up here in the fourth quarter and take it to the house.
332 yards on the ground with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. They're well over 400 yards for the game, close to 500. Second down 3. Here comes the blitz. They hand it off. Jason, first down into North Mesquite territory, and there's that Elmer's glue coming in there to blitz in the play, but Jason niffs by him and gets 4.
Lee's done a great job of countering the blitz with the delay draws, or actually the trap play, and also the counter back to the near side tonight. They've just done a great job of finding that out, and they answered the call for the North Mesquite coaches, who came in with a nice bit of a changeup in the second quarter.
At the 49-yard line, and a year after TCU made so much noise about belonging at the BCS level, they're having a very bad year. Down 38-7 here to a UAB. There's a fullback trap up the gut. Little wham. Royal gets a yard. Down to the 47, maybe the 47. Second down in line. Okay, next week, Lee and John Tyler. John Tyler, Kelvin Ratliff's team is they are just so beat up. Antoine Bush is hurt. Shackelford, I don't think, played tonight. Neither did Howard Quincy, the defensive end. And, of course, Garmin only kicking now. He's a wide receiver, defensive back. And they've got so many injuries. And they're getting hammered tonight by Mesquite Horn. So not sure what they have left for next week. Preston to Jason Williams into the secondary for about 7 more, down close to the 40. Now under 5 minutes to go in the game, and Lee just trying to run the clock and get this thing over with.
Yeah, I mean, he takes it off the counter off the right side. He busts into the secondary. Tired Mr. Sharp there to make the stop along with number 20 on the far side of the field, Larry Rosebud, the safety.
Bo Banbury is checked in to play offensive line. And out of the game, number 50 is Sam Banks. I think I saw Gary Fleet clap. I think, mark the time, Gary Fleet just clapped. Here's Jason off right tackle for a first down inside the 40 to the 39. And Lee has a first down that will continue this drive. Mark the time down with about 4:20 to go, fourth quarter. Gary Fleet clapped.
He clapped when Sam Banks came off the field, giving him a nice little round of applause as that left side, both he and Black came off the field after the last successive plays.
You want to see something fun, watch Gary Fleet and Sam Banks during the week. That is one interesting relationship, let's put it that way. Watch far side, Parchman near side, offset eye, Royal the up back, and Williams deep. At the 38, Preston Hill hands it off. Jason bounces outside and hammers down inside the 35 to the 31, and another 8 yards. And now listen to this. Tyrone Randy has 161 yards unofficially. Williams has 91. Price has 94. And he's coming out of the game, and I think Gary's clapped again. This is one of those memorable nights. T.Y.'s had a record night, and Jason Williams now just under 100 yards at 91 on 14 carries, and he gets a pat on the head. And Brad Royal now is the deep back by himself, double tight set. Brad, right tackle, bounces it outside and short of a first down. Lucas Cullen yet again on the stop.
Running near side on the stretch play, and he's down too, David.
And Brad Royal just went down.
Not good.
Exactly 3 minutes remaining in the game. 37-6, Robert E. Lee back in 30 seconds on KTBB.
Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Represent your team like never before. On the field, on the court, it's all in our store. The spirit of your team, the season of your dreams. Looking for the victory, we've got what you need. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. Your one-stop sports shop, Tyler Athletics. You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
To see this sign on your house, put this sign out front. Century 21 Advantage. Call or visit our website.
Well, this is not good news, as there's a lot of people attending to a young man who's a good kid, Brad Royal, the 6 foot, 193-pound senior who just took a 1-yard carry down to the 30-yard line. He's getting a lot of attention from the Lee staff. It's Weldon Thompson, and boy, I tell you what, he is a young man that runs hard, scored a couple of weeks ago and goes off right tackle, and there's a lot of people looking at him, and we do wish him well. We do know that. We still have not heard anything new besides 7-3 Longview third quarter in their game with Rockwall, and Mesquite Horn blowing up JT 41-2. And Mesquite Horn, again, a team that had the disappointment this week of losing their only district win against Rockwall because of a player who was ineligible, who was actually a freshman at North Mesquite. And North Mesquite was watching game film. I talked to one of the assistants today. Oh, they're going to have to help Brad off the field. Oh, give him a hand. Wish him well. That's this kid. I think in the offseason, Brad Royal probably had as much of maybe the best offseason of anybody on this football team. Really did rise to the occasion, and we do hope that he's going to be okay, but obviously he's in tremendous pain. The team doctors are looking at him, and he didn't look good. 3rd and 2, but Mesquite Horn had a player, then he re-enrolled at Horn because he didn't pass his freshman year, and all of a sudden he's playing this year. He's a 5th-year senior, basically. Here is Preston Hill, little waggle to Fleet at the 20, and Tyler Fleet gets the first down to the 15, and here is a flag at the end of the play. The back judge throws the flag after Fleet was knocked down at the 15 for a gain of about 17 yards. And now we check the flag because it gave Lee a first down to continue this drive inside the 20-yard line.
Nice execution, too, with another flag against the Red Raiders, but it'll be a first down nonetheless since it's downfield. Man, Baker's dozen now.
37-6, you get a first down. There's just no need for the block in the back, but some of these guys now in the game who are trying to get some more time, and so lots of the gain wiped out, but it's still a first down for Lee at the 25-yard line.
Credit for 7 yards.
7 yards. Preston Hill's first completion tonight. And Tyler Fleet, the sophomore, has 4 catches for 26 yards. And showed the same kind of foot speed that his dad had. 2:30 to go. Preston takes a knee at the 25. And not so sure you'll see Steve Bragg do much about this as Lee just trying to get this thing done with 2:20 to go in the game. You know, right before Brad Royal's injury, Jason Williams was in the game. He comes out, and the next play, Brad Royal's hurt.
Yep. Bad timing, and he was hit low in the tackle. Nice clean tackle. Just caught him low around the knee area. And,
well, let's talk about player of the game. Kerry Ainsworth, get the headsets on. You've got him on anyway. Get that thing. We've got all sorts of options. Here's another snap. 2nd down, and Preston takes a knee. All right, last week we had Jason Stripling. The week before that, Tyrone Ross. Now, it would be easy to give it to Tyrone because he broke the record, 162 yards. But we got 2 or 3 guys to think about. And Josh Hill had a nice night. Walter Simpson had a nice night. But Peyton Price had a nice night as well. He had 2 touchdowns, the run and the catch.
And also the fake punt.
And he had the fake punt for 30 yards. Kerry?
Yeah, I think Peyton Price ought to get the award tonight.
I agree.
Peyton Price.
Now, defensively, Lee had several guys stand up big on defense. Of course, last week it was a defensive player in Stripling, and Peyton Price gets my vote, too.
So now under 1:15 to go, and Preston Hill going, how come I'm the one that has to get the negative yardage on my stats, as he takes a knee on 4th down to the 31-yard line, and now a minute to go in the game, and almost likely he'll just take that snap again. So the names that we consider tonight, and we don't, it's hard sometimes. You can see players defensively like Stripling last week, like Van Zanten had a big game tonight as well, and Ajiki and Micah Johnson had a great game too. But you guys say you think it's Peyton Price.
Well, he almost, 90 yards rushing, 94 yards on the ground.
Yeah, you know what? He had 94 yards rushing on 7 carries, 46 yards on 3 catches and 2 different touchdowns. And there's a quarterback keep for Preston Hill, and he gets all the negative yardage back and ends up with nothing overall. And that will give North Mesquite one more snap with 26 seconds to go. All right, Peyton Price, the fullback. There were other candidates in this thing, and again, we want to tell you that it's Dusty Rhodes Marines Player of the Game, and $50 in the name of Peyton Price will go to the KTBB Scholastic All-Stars. Craig?
All right, a little bit of an update on Brad Royal. The trainers are busy right now working on him, so they haven't been able to tell me quite exactly what's wrong. But the tables that they have set up, the training tables they have set up on the sidelines, they've got Brad Royal laying on one of those. They're icing down one of his knees, and Coach Owens, along with Coach Mullins and Weldon Thompson and the rest of the guys, are preparing some crutches for him, so I'll try to get an update when I can.
Well, that's terrible because Brad, again, as I mentioned, had a tremendous offseason through spring football, the conditioning drills the Gary Fleet and Randy Huffstickler conditioning drills, the mats, and he was a big-time leader for them, and it's unfortunate that he might have an injury tonight. He does have an injury, but just hopefully not too severe. They run the draw play to Drew Williams, gets outside and will pick up the biggest rushing play of the night, 11 yards for Drew Williams. He has 16 carries. North Mesquite has 32 yards rushing. 32 yards rushing tonight, and Lee's defense has done a very nice job of containing the passing game except for 2 30-yarders. Got a first down. Now the clock will wind again. Doyle Pogue, the referee. Witherspoon in the shotgun. Little slip screen out here to the receiver. That is going to be a gain of about 7 or 8, and that should wrap it up. Heap was there. Bambry was there. Beard was there. Simmons was there. And a gain of 8 yards, and that will leave Witherspoon with what we have of 99 yards passing. And Robert E. Lee has needed a win tonight, Randy, and they got it 37-6 over North Mesquite, and now they can turn their attention to John Tyler next week, a team that they've beaten every year since 1999.
Well, Lee's just flexed their muscle tonight, David. They did what they wanted to do offensively, really running the ball. The time of possession, we'll get that here in a few moments when we do the stats, but it's just overwhelming how Lee really held on the ball tonight and crushed North Mesquite along the offensive and defensive fronts. They get a great passing game from Josh Hill and his receivers, and the defense comes up big and in a big way, playing very great.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. Craig Smoke down at the midfield, and we'll have Mike Owens in just a moment. I tell you what, Steve Bragg just went over to Mike and I think asked him about how Brad is doing, and that's pretty classy. Craig with Mike Owens.
Coach Owens, not sure if you're aware or not, but Tyrone Ross was able to break the school rushing record there in the first half. What are your thoughts on that?
That's great. I mean, anytime one of our kids can come along and do something better than some other people have done, well, that's great. That's great for him. He deserves it. Great kid.
Tyrone wasn't the only one that had success rushing tonight. Jason Williams also had a big game. Peyton Price had a really big game also with the fake punt. Talk about the way they played.
Oh, it's tremendous. Everybody played well. Our defense, got out there tonight, played like they're capable of playing for 48 minutes. The offense played real well. Kicking game was good. So, I'm real pleased with everything. I just hope we can maintain it.
If anything, one of the weak spots you might have, so to say, or that you've had trouble with the past few games has been penalties, and you had a lot of those tonight as well. What can you do with your players? What adjustments can you make to try to prevent those in the future?
Well, in the NFL they fine you. I think we're going to start running people every time they get one. We're going to add some extra sprints to it from now on.
All right, you got John Tyler next week. What do you look forward to going into this weekend and next week as far as working on something with your team and try to get a little win streak going?
Well, we're just concerned about playing John Tyler. They've got the ability that if they ever put it all together, they've got some athletes and Hunter and Bush and those guys are extremely dangerous. So we're going to have to play hard. We can't have a letdown. And so that's all we're looking forward to is just playing the next game.
Thank you.
Men, I think our racing team needs to reflect our Supercut sponsorship. So, make some changes. First off, we're going to go to clear helmets so racing fans can see your fine Supercut hair.
Those are made out of glass.
Y'all be careful. Second, uniform change.
How are we supposed to drive? There's no armholes.
I haven't figured that one out yet, but we're working on that.
And I'm out of here.
Fellas,
you're out of your mind. That's not
where are you going?
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Can you drive a stick?
In the game of life, there are no timeouts, only time wasted. The path you choose now determines your future. But where can you go to find a sense of purpose? There is a place where team spirit steps off the field and into the classroom, where no victory goes unnoticed, and there's no such thing as wasted time. That place is Tyler Junior College, living life in color, never black and white. Come to Tyler Junior College. We're changing the game. We're changing lives.
The Tyler Independent School District employs 2,600 and serves over 17,500 students with a primary mission to ensure the academic success of every student. and also is committed to fiscal responsibility, ranking among the top districts in the state for percentage of budget spent on instruction, and receiving the prestigious Superior Financial Rating from the Texas Education Agency. We're committed to improvement, not only because it's what the people of Tyler expect, but because it's what the people of Tyler deserve.
Thanks for watching High School Football. Presented by TISD and Cox Communications of Tyler. Brought to you by Dairy Queen and Supercuts. Also brought to you by these sponsors.
You know what I like about Texas? We'll always find a way to stay cool. And when our work is through, we know just what to do. Every true Texan loves a DQ.
Pop into DQ for new popcorn chicken. These crispy, delicious, all-white chicken bites are perfect for dipping. Plus, get any size Coke free with a large order. And for all you chocoholics, try our newest treat, the Triple Chocolate Utopia.
DQ, that's what I like about Texas.
Man, are we going to take every lap full speed?
Yeah!
Are we going to trade paint without fear?
Yeah!
Are we going to brush our hair 100 times a day and condition after every shampoo and choose the right hair color to match our skin tone? Tim?
Terry, I'm an autumn.
I'm a spring. Now let's go out there and win one!
Supercuts, proud sponsor of Fitz Bradshaw Racing.
Afternoon, sir. Bill Butler. How are you?
Good.
Good. Well, prepare to be great, my friend. I present the Turbo Suck 3000.
Actually, you know, my show's about to start.
Don't worry, Dave. The Cox DVR is set to record every episode. You can watch it when he's done.
Perfect. I'll just need an outlet. There you go.
Watch your favorite shows on your schedule with the DVR from Cox. TV waits for you.
Now you can get into the deep crevices here in the corner.